What's up, movie fans and Netflix bingers? This is the Bros Who Binge podcast. My name is Adam Schubert, and as always, I'm joined by Lyndon Burton. Lyndon, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Can't complain, chilling, living, dunder miffling it up, paper company, doing my thing. But I'm doing really well, man. Just this week I've been watching a lot of comedies. Like I was telling you off air, I went back and started Broad City from the jump. Been watching Workaholics. And like I wanted to start It's Always Sunny because I miss it so much and I need a new season. But the thing is, I've watched it so many times that like I know it word for word. So I think I need to let some more time pass before I start that one. But I'm really enjoying Workaholics a lot. I really am.
Yeah, I have to revisit a lot of the comedy stuff because I haven't been on the comedy bag for a while. I've been doing a real deep dive into Star Wars Rebels this week, just get ready for Ahsoka and just kind of
Okay.
remembering where we left off with her, pretty much.
Okay.
Um,
Chilling with Sabine Wren.
yeah, but when it comes to like what you've talked about, Broad City, I think is probably like an all time.
Yeah, Broad City's great.
But where like Workaholics, I remember in the moment being a big fan, and looking back in hindsight, it's just really never something I've wanted to revisit.
Damn, you're not a fan of the three homies, Anders, Blake, and the Demamp man, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when it comes to those guys, Adam is really the only person like I've ever really cared about anywhere else but that show. So I guess like, and even on that show, I don't even think that he's like the best person
He's
on the
not.
show. So it's like I just don't know.
The side characters in that show might be the best.
That's true, but I mean, like that's like some goes along with the same thing with Always Sunny. I feel like
Oh
Always Sunny
no,
has
no, no.
has
I
some
think
incredible side characters that
th-
push things along too.
they have some incredible side characters, but the thing is, with It's Always Sunny, you love Mac D,
The core,
Dennis,
yeah.
yeah. Whereas with Workaholics, some episodes, some of those guys are stronger, some of them are weaker, and sometimes the side characters are just better. It's weird because like when I was younger, I was a big Demamp fan because like just the way he acted. Then like college, I became a Blake fan. Right now, I'm digging the Anders Holmvik vibe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've
But
never.
Montez is the funniest.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you said side characters, first person I definitely thought of was Montez. He was
Or
probably the
Jillian.
funniest.
And
Jillian,
and
yeah,
we're gonna talk about Jillian later in the show, and it just reminded me of her role in Workaholics. I feel like
for
she
sure.
acts the exact same way.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, when I think about that era, I definitely think about Broad City first,
I'm not mad at
and
that.
and really isn't it for Abby Jacobson? Like that's the thing. Like
Oh yeah, no,
it
it's
was
for
literally
Alana.
Alana Glazer just carried the whole freaking show. Her and then the occasional
Hannibal
side
Burris.
characters like Hannibal Burris. I loved um, Abby's roommate.
Oh,
What's his name?
Bevers.
Bevers. Oh my god, he was so funny.
I liked Ilana's roommate,
Oh
Jaime.
yeah,
Jaime was
Jaime
funny.
was great too.
No,
Jaime had his own show.
yeah, he did. I don't know if it did well though.
It did not.
Yeah, didn't it get canceled?
Yeah, I think it was on one seasoner.
Oof, poor Jaime. But we got a lot to get into, man. We got new Mandalorian we got to talk about. We got to talk Animaniacs. We got some top 5 director stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
Lyndon got me back on my HBO Max subscription to watch the Fresh Prince reunion.
Yep.
So we'll talk about that as well.
And the Twitter's verse has been talking Cartoon Network cartoons versus Nickelodeon cartoons, and we felt we wanted to comment on
Where
that.
did that spawn off? I guess we could talk about it later, but like all
Some
of a sudden I
random
just see everyone
dude
talking about that.
some random dude just posts a picture of all of the Nickelodeon cartoons facing off against the Cartoon Network cartoon and was like, "This is the versus battle we really need." And everybody was like, "I don't think it would be a even matchup."
Mm.
But we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah, I think he might be right, but we'll get into that later on.
Yes, sir.
So we got a lot of news to get through and all of that. So I'm ready to go if you are.
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
All right, so let's get started. The Mandalorian spinoff has casted 2 people in supporting roles. First, Jordan Bolger, who's most known for his roles in Peaky Blinders and The 100. He's up for the role of Scad, who is supposed to be a supporting character, and then Sophie Thatcher, who we mentioned a week ago, who is most known for her roles on the Exorcist TV series in Chicago Med, also in a movie called, I think, Prospect with Pedro Pascal. So she's familiar with Pedro Pascal. I assume that she still might pop into Mandalorian season 3, but she's going to be playing the role of Jerash spinoff.
So this is for like the Boba Fett series? Or we don't know yet?
We don't know. We just know it's the Mandalorian spinoff, whether that's the Boba Fett series. We've talked about the Bo-Katan Cara Dune possibility, which I feel like is fleeting.
Yeah, I don't think Bo-Katan's getting one, especially after Katie Sackhoff was like, yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah, and the other thing that's really curious about all that as well is that Sasha Banks said that she's not going to be in any more episodes this season. And that kind of like makes me worried about that whole, you're going to show us Bo-Katan.
Yeah,
and then we're just never going to go back to that.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that.
So,
I think Sasha Banks might just be, doing the whole I can't talk about it thing.
No, I could buy that she's not in the rest of this season, but like I feel like you would have to bring her back in season 3 if you were going to expand more on those Mandalorians.
Or it could be that she's never back, but her character is back, whereas there's someone where you know how where Mandalorians wear masks, she just may be in a mask the whole time.
Oh, but I mean, they're the ones that take the masks on and off. So
it just depends on if it's a battle or not.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like if they were going to take her off the show, they'd have to kill her off at this point because, like, we know that she's established. But anyway, but speaking of Bo-Katan, Bo-Katan's going to appear in animated form on the Bad Batch animated series. So
when is that happening?
I assume they're developing it. There hasn't been necessarily a timetable for it. I assume next year because, I mean, it can't take them that long.
And what is the Bad Batch about?
The Bad Batch was the first little trilogy of episodes in the newest season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, with those guys.
Those
clones.
Those clones that were like, a little bit different than the other clones.
Oh, okay.
But the series is supposed to be about them post Order 66. Like,
I don't know if that'll be exciting, but we'll see. I'm just ready to get out of this.
Exciting.
I'm just ready to get out of this time period.
Well, I mean, I'm very excited to hear about what happens with the Bad Batch deal, and also now that Bo-Katan's going to be a part of it, because what I want to know more so is what happened to Mandalore in the Rise of the Empire, which we haven't really explored yet, and I feel like that is going to be a big part of that, because not only do Bo-Katan have ties to Mandalore, the clones technically have ties to Mandalore, so is that going to be something that plays in? So I'm actually really intrigued to hear.
Are you not ready to get out of this time period, though?
I'm not ready to get out of any time period.
I'm just ready to get to High Republic. It's time. It's time to move.
The books are coming out. So
I'm ready for the TV show and movies. That's what I'm ready for.
The books will be out, I think, in January. So that's pretty exciting.
So it's moving along. Okay. Cool beans. Well, yeah, it's like I'm just the clone era and just the Luke Skywalker era, Empire era. It's just time, man. It's time. It's time to leave it behind. I know you don't agree, but like it's just as like a normal Star Wars fan, not the fanatic, not the super fan like you. Just I'm not your average everyday movie fan. Like I watch the cartoons, I'll read a comic here or there. I need new content from Star Wars that is like fresh and out of the that's why I like Mando so much. It's not in that classic time period. It's giving me new stuff that I'm not used to, and it's just like. Yes, that's what I'm even going back on, like, will this Obi-Wan series work? Like, I'm going back on if I'm hyped for it. Because, like, if they don't show Darth Vader, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
No, I totally agree with that. I think that they really have to buckle down and create a really great miniseries. Because, like, at this point, because, I mean, like, there's going to be more questions than answers in this series. Like, you're going to be like, well, this happened, and like this, and this is just, well, you can't. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because of Rebels.
Can't show Rebels because of the fight. Yep, Rebels ruined that. Like, who are you gonna show? Like the Inquisitors? Like, I don't want to.
Well, no, I mean the thought process is that there is a reference in Episode 4.
Oh no, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
Vader saying that they've met before this, so it's got to. That's what it has to be.
If it's not Vader, then it's pointless. That's the only thing I'm getting at. So I'm just. That's just me being a wet blanket on Star Wars, but I'm loving Mando, so you know.
Yeah, and the one thing I'd say about the spin-off characters, I think it's cool that they're building up the supporting cast with a younger group. So I'm thinking that, like, let's say it is the Boba Fett series, it's like his young crew, and he's got like a new established crew.
Yeah, I got a new cast of hunters with him, unless Jordan Bolger's Cad Bane.
I think he's a little young.
He is, but CGI, you know.
Let me look at him real quick.
He kind of has that skinny face. He's got, but like, you know, CGI him up. You know, he can't. He won't look like that anyway. They're gonna have to give him eyes and like, they just might like his voice.
Maybe so. I mean, I really feel like if you're gonna do Cad Bane, like, you know, if you're doing Rosario Dawson for Ahsoka, then you're gonna get somebody like for Cad Bane.
But the thing is, Cad Bane, unlike Rosario Dawson, has very humanoid features. Cad Bane has like the eyes of a bug, and like the nose of like I don't know. Cad Bane's different. Like Ahsoka Tano is human. Like, let me look at Cad Bane again. Let me just look. Yeah, sure. He has bug eyes, a fucking snorkels going into his mouth. He doesn't have a nose. Like, nah, bro. Yeah, Cad Bane, this fair game. I'm just saying, if it happens, cool. If not, cool.
Well, we already know he's gonna be Scad, so.
Oh yeah, true. You should have stopped me before all of that. Whoever's.
But I see what you're saying, because like I feel like, you know, especially if it's the Boba Fett series, then Cad Bane is very, very high chance he makes an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But let's move into the trailers. The first one, I don't know if you watched this one.
I did. Really I watched them all.
All right, so Little Fish is. Well, let's start with the big one. Let's start with Chaos Walking.
It actually looked good. Chaos Walking looked. I was interested.
Chaos Walking looks really interesting. Like, I like that the cast is great. It seems like it's a big sci-fi epic. There could be something that goes forward with it. But what I'm worried about with Chaos Walking is that it meets the same fate that Mortal Engines met. Where, like, interesting concept, looks interesting in the trailers, but is it going to hit home?
Yeah, I see that. No, 100%. Yeah, like the trailer definitely intrigued me enough to watch it. The question is, does it execute on its delivery, and does it work all the way? No, I like the Mortal Engines comparison. I even got Maze Runner vibes because it's like a best-selling
Maze Runner is a good
young adult series. So like, what's it gonna be? But this is big kind of for Tom Holland and Daisy. You know, more so Daisy. Yeah, more so Daisy, because Tom Holland has had some success outside of Spider-Man. And with Nathan Drake coming, and with that war movie that just got announced coming, he has a lot of big shit.
But I feel like if this doesn't work out for him, it could really stain him.
No, for sure.
And for Daisy, it's really make or break.
Well, it could stain him until Nathan Drake comes, because if Nathan Drake works, then he's okay. Because Devil All the Time, he was good. We know about Spider-Man, and then he has the war movie. This could just be like how Michael B. Jordan had Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this could be – that's what I'm worried more so for Daisy about. Like, I'm worried that, like, Tom Holland, this is, like, his throwaway movie where, like, Daisy needs to bank on this movie. Like, she has to, like, kill this movie. Like, this movie has to, like,
she's not getting roles. And, like, you know, we got to see, like, Daisy – I want to see Daisy really keep working. So, hopefully this works.
Now let's talk about Little Fish. Little Fish, I guess you're not –
It looked all right.
I'm kind of really interested in it. I feel like what hinders Little Fish is that it was probably planned before coronavirus.
Corona, and it feels very Corona.
But it feels very Corona-y.
Especially since people are getting dementia after Corona.
Oh, is that a thing now?
Yeah, you didn't know? Oh, well, this is not the place to talk about that. But yes, that's like a side effect for post, like, Corona. People can't remember shit.
Oh, well. So pretty much, like, the idea of this movie is that people – there's a disease going around that causes people to start losing their memory. So I'm more so interested in this for Jack O'Connell. I think this is his last name. And because he's a guy that I followed for a while. He was in that movie Unbroken. He's in one of the early seasons of Skins. He's a really great actor. So I'd love to see this work out for him. It seems like it'd be a good dramatic film.
Yeah.
But I
don't know. Seems like Oscar bait. Or maybe
it feels like a little under Oscar bait.
Like, it could just be
festival
like
darling.
Festival, that type of stuff. No, for sure. So it could be good, but I'm more excited about Your Honor.
Yeah, let's get through the last movie one real quick. Speaking of people who were side characters on Workaholics,
Jillian.
the Jillian, she now is gonna have her own Disney Plus movie called Godmothered, where she is a fairy godmother on the come up, but gets her assignment way too late and has ended up being Isla Fisher's godmother, but she's an adult now.
It
So
didn't look bad. Let me
it
say
did
that.
not look bad.
And it
That's
felt
why I put it
like
in here.
Jillian was playing kind of her workaholics role. She was very similar esque, like in some like a G version of her workaholics role. And like, I didn't think it looked bad though. I thought it looked like very entertaining, more so than I thought with Lady and the Tramp, more so than I thought with like a lot of these other Disney Plus G-rated movies. So good for what's this actress name? Because I don't want to keep calling her Jillian, but good for Jillian.
I forgot her name
Oh,
too.
Jillian. Oh, is her name really Jillian Bell? Yeah, her name's really Jillian Bell. Okay, well, yeah, good for
Yeah,
Jillian.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm pretty sure her name is Jillian.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, so looks like it's gonna be pretty good. And it also looks like it's not super kiddie. Like
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't
obviously
look,
a kids movie
but it
because
looks
it's
like
on Disney Plus.
adults can get down with
But it
it.
looks like something that like if I was forced to watch it, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you on that.
But talking about something that I think we're both really interested
And we
in
talked
is
about
Your
Showtime
Honor.
last week. Yeah, we talked about
Yeah.
Showtime picking up steam last week, and this is a big series with Bryan Cranston. It's a great cast. We also
Hmm.
see my boy from The Wire in it. Like I'm digging this. Just basically this judge, his son does a hit and run, or so we think, and basically the judge covers it up with the help of one of his black friends, who I assume runs like a gang in the city, or like organized, is part of organized crime. And then but the person he kills is the son of a mafia leader, so it starts this big war in the city. It's made by the creators of The Night Of, so it's going to get dramatic. Even has that Night Of look to it, so I'm
And
excited for
feel
it. Yeah,
very much so. And it's all in New Orleans, which I think is really
yeah, that's what I
exciting.
liked as well too.
And they even played into that. Like at first, I'm seeing like, oh, New Orleans is obviously the setting, and then like they even mentioned like something about, oh, like this is just what happens in New Orleans. I'm like, oh, damn, like this is gonna be like some serious stuff, especially for someone who like understands that, at least the political and social structure of New Orleans, and thinking that a judge is out here like fixing,
Clowning.
you know, fixing murders and stuff, and like even
Yeah.
like one of the prosecutor ladies is like, your son is not above the law.
Bryan Cranston's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I want to do. You dig? And they had, like I said, the cast is great. I'm excited for this. First episode is December 6th, so I will be tuned in.
Yes, I'm not sure how exactly I'm going to watch this yet, but I'm going to find a way.
Oh yeah,
That's
you
for
can
sure.
use my Amazon if you need, or my Hulu. So we will get this going. But next up, as Disney continues to figure out what to do with its Fox properties acquired in the merger, one of the biggest IPs, Deadpool, looks to be gaining momentum. Bob's Burgers veterans Wendy Molyneux and Lizzie Molyneux Longland will write Deadpool 3, with Ryan Reynolds set to reprise his role as the wisecracking Marvel superhero, and it's expected to be R. Good for the Bob's Burgers writers. Good for Ryan Reynolds. And I might as well add this in right now. With this being rated R for Marvel, this shows that they're not afraid to tap into that. It's also being rumored
We're
right
going to touch
now.
on that, right?
Yeah, I might as well just talk about one of the rumors. It's also rumored right now that Disney Plus will add an 18 plus section, and this will fall right under that, which we think Disney Plus needs, especially if the corona pandemic continues and they have to make more content and they have to transition more to streaming. There's no way you can just have a kids streaming service and expect adults to continue to pay for it that don't have kids.
Exactly. I think that it's definitely the right move.
It's time.
How they're going to go about that, I guess, is the question. Like, is it going
Yeah,
to be
how they're gonna
password
stop kids from?
protected?
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be weird.
Because like Netflix has the same feature pretty much, where like you can create, how like you can do your different names. You can
Yeah.
make a name and it's only the kids stuff.
Mm.
So like maybe that's what they're going to do, but like
That can't
for
stop kids from watching if they choose to.
it just depends, because like let's say 10 and under kids, like if they all they do is go up to their room and it immediately goes to like Netflix or whatever, and they're not really like. But it's hard for me to say because kids nowadays are so tech savvy. They probably like know how to boost through all the profiles and all that. But like I'm
Bro, I
thinking
would
about
choose
me
my
when I was
mom's
that age.
profile. I would choose my mom's profile so
But
fast.
what I'm saying is like maybe they won't really understand. Like if it's set up for you, then
Yeah.
you kind of just go to
Go to
it.
yeah,
Then you
true.
don't even like think about it.
True.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like maybe that's the case for that. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah, we'll see. But good for
But
Disney
I think
Plus.
they have to do
Hopefully,
that.
yeah, I agree. I think they have to as well. And I'm glad to see Ryan Reynolds. This is the start of the X-Men, so hopefully they add Marvel stuff to this and don't just keep it going with like the Fox X-Men
Yeah, yeah.
universe, because that won't
No,
make sense.
here's what I heard is not a possibility, but like a good idea for them to mix in Deadpool. Doctor Strange, Wanda traveling through all these dimensions. They get to that dimension, and Deadpool follows them.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. And Wade just sneaks in, and then in the end credits, it's like we see one of the Doctor Strange portals, and Wade's like, "Oh, where am I now? Ooh, looks like I got some places to explore." And then boom, Deadpool 3. Yeah, that
See,
makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, and I would be down with it. Good for Ryan Reynolds. I'm excited for this. So, All right, next up, we got the first look at Starfire in Titan Season 3. They finally gave her a costume, and I like it more than the concept art. I just don't like the wiring on it. I don't like some of the lines, but I do love her hair. They should not give her
yeah,
pink hair. Let her keep her natural hair color. It looks amazing with her. And like I said, I just don't like the lines. Other than the lines, I think it's a pretty dope costume.
yeah. I thought it looked pretty nice. It definitely seemed like a fit to the show.
Yeah, definitely for
It
the
wasn't
show.
like, yeah, it wasn't
It
like too
might have
out
been the
there.
most cosplay costume, though, out of the show, which is kind of
I think that
trash.
really has to do more with the color scheme.
Okay.
Like because all the other costumes we've seen didn't necessarily have like extravagant color schemes besides Hawk and Dove. And Hawk and Dove stuff you can argue also is very cosplay.
I
Like,
don't know. Hawk and
the
Dove look good.
the Nightwing stuff's gonna I would say more I actually yeah, they did look pretty good. I'd
Hawk
say
and Dove
more
look
Hawk.
good.
I'd
And
say more Dove than
Aqualad
Hawk.
looked good, too.
Aqualad looked good. I don't remember, did we get Donna Troy
I don't
in
think.
costume? I don't think we
Yeah, we
did.
did. No, we did. We definitely did. We definitely did. It was the red one.
Okay.
Hers didn't look
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I really think it's because it's like purple or whatever.
Yeah, no, we definitely got Donna Troy in the all red. Yeah, I think this is their worst costume, but I don't think it's bad. Like I said, I just don't like the lines.
Yeah.
So, but good for Corey. Gonna expand on her story, get all her sister stuff, and it's about time she got a costume because she is a senior member of this team, and she can't just keep walking around in normal clothes, shooting off bolts of fire. Because I'm sure her suit from Tamaran enhances like her abilities or allows her to go supernova or some kind of shit.
For sure. There's got to be something.
Some perks to it. Maybe
But our
flight.
next, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I just didn't remember. See, it's been so long. I feel
Like
like
her
since we
hair.
watched Titans that I don't remember if she did fly yet or not.
She hasn't, and maybe
So
since
that's
you know
probably
how
helpful.
she has like she shoots like actual fire, maybe like the fire that comes out of her body and her hair powers the suit to give her flight or some shit.
Maybe so, or maybe like even the suit gives us less fire, more energy beam, like
Yeah, because it's
typical
green
stuff.
and we have like the orbs inside it. So
Hmm.
yeah, I would fuck with that too. Either way, I'm down for Starfire, and we're gonna get a
I'm
lot
just
of that
ready
in
for the
season 3.
season.
Yeah, I am too.
But Stranger Things is another season that season 4 people are highly anticipating, and they have just added 8 new players to the upcoming
Oh
cast.
Jesus.
Uh, they cast Jamie Campbell Bower, most notably known for Sweeney Todd; Eduardo Franco, most notably known for Booksmart; Joseph Quinn, most notably from Catherine the Great. They're all going to be series regulars, as well as Robert Englund, best
Freddy
known as
Krueger.
being Freddy Krueger, among several others. So they also listed on here what those characters are going to be. Jamie Campbell Bower is going to be Peter Ballard, a caring man who works as an orderly at a psychiatric hospital. Tired of the brutality he witnesses day after day, will Peter finally take a stand? Eduardo Franco is going to play Argyle, Jonathan's new best friend and a fun-loving stoner who proudly delivers delicious pizza pies for Surfer Boy Pizza.
Mhm.
Um, Joseph Quinn, he joins as Eddie Munson, an audacious 80s metalhead who runs the Hellfire Club, Hawkins High's official Dungeons and Dragons club. Hated by those who don't understand him and beloved by those who do, Eddie will find himself at the terrifying epicenter of the season's mystery.
Ah, okay.
And our resident Freddy Krueger himself will play Victor Creel, a disturbed and intimidating man who is imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for a gruesome murder in the 1950s.
So he's our serial killer slasher this season.
It could be I think he's a secondary villain, if we're
Gotcha.
being honest, because Stranger Things, the main villain is usually something a little bit more supernatural.
True. And it makes sense
Also,
since they're doing the 80s motif.
yes, very very much so. A height of serial killers. Yeah, you make a good point. Um, so, so also joining the cast, Game of Thrones alum Tom Wallachia. I don't even remember his character name, but he's going to play Dmitri, a Russian prison guard who befriends Hopper. Sherman Augustus, most notably from Into the Badlands, will be Lieutenant Colonel Sullivan, an intelligent, no-nonsense man who believes he knows how to stop the evil in Hawkins once and for all. Good luck with that. He's
Yeah.
dying. Mason Dye from Bosch. He will play Jason Carver. Jason seemingly has it all. He's handsome, he's rich, he's a sports star, and he's dating the most popular girl in school. But as a new evil threatens Hawkins, Jason's perfect world begins to unravel. I guess he's like the new Steve
jock.
for the main group.
Yeah. Wait, Steve's not coming back, or is he dead?
I assume Steve is going to come back, but I'm saying this more so establishes for me that this is going to be high school.
Oh, okay.
Like our main cast is going through high school.
Yeah.
So he's going to be
gotcha.
like the high school guy.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because Steve should be like in what, college or done with it?
Yeah, it seems like Jonathan is either like dropped out of college or I don't know what age of high school that they're going to portray, because that depends on like where Jonathan and Nancy and Steve are.
True, 100%. Especially since they said his stoner friend, yeah, he might just be a dropout, just chilling.
Mm-hmm. And Nikola Durjico, most notably from Genius, will play Yuri, a seedy and unpredictable Russian smuggler who loves bad jokes, cold hard cash, and crunchy style peanut butter. So we know that there's going to be a lot of Hopper in Russia.
Yeah.
So that it kind of sets that tone.
How does he get back?
I don't really know if he gets back for a majority
of the season
to be there for the majority of the season. I think let's say if it's, I think Stranger Things is usually 8 or 10. I'm going to say 8. If there's 8 episodes of this season, I feel like he gets to Hawkins in like the 7th or 8th.
Oh, okay. So season finale, penultimate episode type shit.
Yeah.
Got you. All right. Well, yeah, this is for you and all you Stranger Things homies who watch. I still have not watched Stranger Things.
Oh, well, I mean, it's pretty great.
I might give it a chance now that it's like a lot of seasons and I can binge it.
Yeah. I think it's always better as a binge. Like, that's why I'm glad that they have always been about the Netflix. I'm putting everything out at once because, even when we were talking about it, when the last season came out, I had to like watch it all because like I knew I was going to get spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Because like, it's just one of those things that you just,
once you start getting that fast.
Well, and once you start getting into it, for every episode, you're like, oh man, I gotta watch the next one.
True. That's how The Boys was for me, season 1. Wish they would go back. They never will.
No,
they never will.
No. They banked on that too good.
That money's too good for them coming in each week with everybody just stuck on Amazon.
For sure. But yeah, excited for Stranger Things season 4. The next thing we got talking about is one of the big actors of the moment, our most recent Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. He's in talks to star in Ari Aster's upcoming film, Beau is Afraid. And the synopsis is: an anxious man, played by Joaquin Phoenix, learns of the death of his mother under mysterious circumstances, and upon traveling home, makes an alarming discovery about his past. During his journey, he runs into various crazy supernatural threats. For people who don't catch the name Ari Aster did a majority of your A24 horror like Midsummer.
Got you.
So
Got you.
I think combining Joaquin Phoenix and his
And
amazing
Midsummer
acting
Guy.
abilities
Yeah.
and Ari Aster into a supernatural thriller,
That's gonna be nuts. That's gonna
I
be
think it's gonna be
absolutely
nuts.
nuts. Yeah. No, you're right. It took me a while for it to connect Ari Aster and that, but nah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a, a home run in the making.
What the?
I was reading in the article when I pulled the story out that Martin Scorsese is a big fan of Ari Aster, and he says
Oh,
that like he's really excited for what he's going to do with this film. The person who was interviewing Ari Aster was like, got the lowdown and wasn't going to like say any, not giving spoilers, but he said like it's some of the craziest things that he's ever heard that's supposed to be in a movie. So it could be pretty
okay.
wild.
All right. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So, all right. Next up, we got a new untitled murder mystery is certainly locking in a great cast as Saoirse Ronan, Sam Rockwell, and David Oyelowo are all making deals to star. The story is set in 1950s London, where a desperate Hollywood film producer sets out to turn a popular West End play into a film. When members of the production are murdered, world-weary Inspector Stoppard, a.k.a. Rockwell, and an overzealous rookie constable stalker, Ronan, will find themselves in the middle of a puzzling whodunit in London's glamorous Theaterland in a sordid underground. This sounds like Knives Out all over again. I'm digging it. I'm loving that murder mysteries are in right now. I love that. I'm excited for this because Sam Rockwell, great. Saoirse Ronan, great. And David Oyelowo is great as well. I know I'm mispronouncing his name
Yeah.
every time, but all three
Yeah.
great. And I'm just excited to see the cast of actors that are committing the murder. That's going to
Yeah.
confirm whether or not this is going to be great.
The next supporting cast announcement is going to be big on that. I didn't put in the director in here, but it's a guy who's making his debut.
Okay.
So that's where it gets a little suspect for me because, like, with Knives Out, I feel like what carried Knives Out was the greatness
Ryan
of Ryan
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
And, even in the Kenneth Branagh who done it, it's like Kenneth Branagh knows how to, like, put a movie together.
That's a
So
fact.
it's like,
Who's
so
doing
that's,
it?
but, when I hear a name like Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan and even David Olawolu, I think is how you say it, something like that. And having them put their name onto this, I feel, especially Saoirse Ronan, because like literally everything that she does is like either a hit or something that people are talking about.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of helps me get excited about this movie.
100%. I agree with you 1,000%. So Bullet Train has added Logan Lerman and Lady Gaga was cast. So let's give a synopsis of Bullet Train. I'll tell you who each of these characters that we know are playing and what they're doing. So Bullet Train, 7 assassins with different motifs board a bullet train in Tokyo, each get entangled in each other's missions and have to fight for their own survival. At the last stop, only one assassin gets off the train alive. The lead is Brad Pitt. He's a casual-looking American in black frame glasses. He's the biggest fan of his code name, given a string of close calls on his recent jobs, believes that he might be cursed. He boards the bullet train with the easy task of getting on, grabbing the briefcase, and getting off at the first stop. This does not happen whether he wants to or not. He does what must in order to survive. His code name is Ladybug. The next one is Joey King, the prince. She's the female teenager, a spoiled teenager who is out to prove everyone wrong, especially her parents. She is tired of the way people see her and wants to be in control of her own fate. She's twisted, demented, smart, and knows how to put on a nice face when needed. She boards the train to kill the Black Death. Kimura.
We pause real quick.
Gotcha.
Chloe Grace Moretz lost out on that role. That's all I'm thinking of. Because it doesn't that not make you think of like Chloe Grace Moretz and like what she did in like Kick-Ass and stuff like that?
Yes, Hit Girl definitely does. Damn, good for Joey King beating her ass. The next one we got is Kimura, Japanese struggling alcoholic who boards the bullet train to find the person who attempted to murder his son. He hides his criminal career from his family. He feels an immense amount of guilt about his shortcomings as a father. The next one is Tangerine.
So who's that? Who's playing
that's
that?
Andrew Koji.
Okay.
The next one is Tangerine, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. The more serious of the two twins, he speaks with a refined British accent, is well practiced. He boards the bullet train to return the Black Death's son in a briefcase filled with $10 million. His brother, Lemon, is the other twin. He speaks in less polished, more Cockney British accent. He has a penchant for talking about Thomas the Tank Engine, who annoys Tangerine. He boards the bullet train to return Black Death's son, just like his brother. The person in talks right now for this is Damson Idris. You may know Damson Idris as let me see. Is that? I feel like that's a black guy. Wait. Oh wow,
It can't be.
It is.
I guess like quote unquote twins.
Yeah, quote unquote twins. Cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Damson Idris and Aaron Taylor Johnson will have like a good,
Damson Idris.
vibes. He's the dude from Snowfall. He's a really good actor.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, him and Aaron Taylor Johnson have a good chemistry. So
I really like Snowfall too.
I hope he gets it. The next one is Maria. This is the Lady Gaga role. If she got it, is it confirmed she got it?
When I read the thing about Logan Lerman, they said that she was like confirmed in the cast.
Okay. So either she has it or the offer's out to her and she hasn't accepted it yet. Either way, this is a mainly head-in voiceover with one small scene at the end. She is Ladybug's handler. Ooh, that's interesting. So it's like she's voiceover in Brad Pitt's head. Okay. Interesting. The next one is The Elder. This is Kimora's father, walks with a cherrywood cane. He's hard on his son for not being a good father. It's later revealed when he was younger that he also provided his family in questionable ways. He later boards the bullet trains to avenge the death of his wife. This is the person who talks for this is Hiroyuki Sanada. I believe that's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy from The Last Samurai, 47 Ronin. This is like one of my favorite Japanese actors. I love this guy.
Looks too young.
Nah, he's 60 years old. He just looks young.
He looks great.
Yeah, he looks great. Yeah, no, 1,000%. He's amazing. I love this guy. All right, so we got him. The next one is the son. He is the son of Black Death. He warns Lemon and Tangerine about his father before he's killed. They're looking to maybe cast Dane DeHaan. The next one is the Wolf, a hired assassin who boards the bullet train to find the person who kills his former boss in a way to get back in. He holds strong guilt for his past failures. We don't know who that is yet. The next one is the Hornet. This is a female in charge of the concession cart and is later revealed to be the Hornet, the assassin who killed the Wolf's boss. And finally, Black Death, the brooder killer who's at the center of all the action. The person who's in talk of this is Hugh Jackman to be the lead villain.
I'm surprised that they hadn't cast that already, because if it's such a, what are you saying? So it's a small supporting character? I thought you said it was like a big
Well, it's
character.
like the villain. He's like the main antagonist, the guy who the plot is centered around.
All right. Well, yeah, I would love to see Hugh Jackman jump into this because it would just make the cast even better. You know, you mentioned Dane DeHaan. I'd really like to see Dane DeHaan do that as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This cast sounds great. Bullet Train is a movie we've talked about multiple times, and now that we got a lot of information about it,
names.
Yeah, this seems like
every
this is gonna
week
be a
it's
great
like a
movie.
new name. Like so we talked about Logan Lerman joining the cast, but we haven't figured out which of these people that he's playing. So like I'm guessing that he would jump in to play the Wolf.
Either the Wolf or instead of Dane DeHaan, he's the son.
That could be it too.
Or I think if I had to guess, he's the son. He's either the son or the Wolf.
And then the other person you said on here is the conductor.
Yeah.
Which I assume would be an older actor.
Yeah, they're like super small role. They're working with the Hornet. So, and I don't think that's Logan Lerman. So I'm guessing Logan Lerman ended up getting the Dane DeHaan role if I had to put money on it. So
that would make sense.
All right, dope. But yeah, that's all I got on Bullet Train.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit of some Marvel news. So we were talking earlier on, or maybe even just been off air, but we were talking about whether or not Guardians of the Galaxy 3 would happen. Well, they're going to start filming next year.
Cool.
So Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is happening, apparently. But also filming next year in July, Black Panther 2. So some early speculation might see that Shuri and M'Baku are at odds to become the next Black Panther. But THR is reporting that Tenoch Huerta from Netflix Narcos Mexico is in talks to play the villain for Black Panther 2.
If they kill T'Challa off screen, that's going to be one of the worst and most jarring things of the MCU.
They have to. What are they going to do?
Recast him, bro. I've seen so many, like, shout out to Van Lathan from The Ringer. I said this first for sure, but he's co-signing it now, and I'm seeing a lot of black people co-sign it and that are like nerds. You gotta recast him. His story wasn't done. It won't make sense if Shuri's just now the Black Panther. You killed him off screen. We don't get to see it. Like, cast someone like Damon Idris. Just give someone a chance. John Boyega, there's someone, let them take this role, because it's not fair to T'Challa as a character, and I guarantee Chadwick Boseman wouldn't want this story to end. He didn't work that hard to just have that story end.
Yeah, it would be the first major hit that the MCU would have to take in terms of like reestablishing, because like I guess they had to do that early before they had really established themselves with Hulk.
But this is worse.
But like this
Hulk,
is way worse.
Like this dude was in there. He's the Black Panther, and you just kill him off screen. Like that will make no sense. It will be extremely, extremely, extremely jarring.
Yeah,
and it'll take me out of the movie. It will.
So obviously they're starting to figure out and formulate a plan, but if they're going to start filming in next summer.
And I feel like that's just the media wanting Shuri to get it, and it's not her time yet. Like, we need at least one more T'Challa story.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the media and people are thrusting Shuri into the role because like there's a comic background to it, and also that they would like to see that. But I just really don't see, like, from where we left the character,
it doesn't
being
make sense.
any sort of ready to be.
She's not ready.
Role.
If anything, you would give it to Okoye or Lupita Nyong'o's character before her.
Yeah,
Shuri's not physically ready. She's not a warrior like them. She uses her tech.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, it would not work, and I'm not a fan of that. And I'm interested to see if Tenoch Huerta is either Namor, which I doubt because I wanted it to be Namor, but maybe, or is he Kraven the Hunter?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Coogler mentioned that he wanted Kraven the Hunter in the first Black Panther. So, is this the time now?
We shall see.
Do
they have the rights?
Obtain that IP? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Was from Sony? I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. But that's just where I'm at with Black Panther 2.
Yeah, so we'll find out. I mean, I feel like that is the one movie, more so than any movie and any superhero fantasy genre, that is like the most up in question.
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
It's not anybody's fault.
No,
really
not
isn't.
At all.
Like, but it's just the circumstances that we have. It's just very difficult to figure out where you want to go from here.
This is worse than what Star Wars had to deal with.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, even like, it feels weird even to like be talking about it as soon as it is at this point. Like, I feel like you at least have to push the movie, but like, again, they're in their schedule of the slate. So it's like, okay, well, we need this to further along our story, but like, how do you tell the story? And if like they are trying to further along the plot line, then you have to recast them, because like, then
that's my thing. Like, you got to, it just won't work if you don't. It really won't.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be weird. But the one thing I wanted to throw in here next was that Disney and 20th Century Studios are developing another Predator movie, the 5th Predator movie, with 10 Cloverfield Lane director Dane Trachtenberg.
And it's going to be an all Native American cast. It's going to back in time when the Native Americans were in America, and they made contact with the Predator.
See, I didn't read all that, but that makes me very excited about this.
That's the idea that I read from Daniel RPK. So,
okay, well, I hope that's the case, because like that hasn't really been mass reported, but like that would actually make me, because I was about to come on here and be like, why do we need another Predator after they ruined it? After Shane Black
bow and arrows, axes, and like you get really like just Native American warfare versus this high tech Predator. That'd be super interesting.
I'm thinking like, what do you think? Like woods or desert?
Ooh, I'm thinking desert. But there's nowhere to hide. But I'm thinking desert.
Yeah, because I can see like a canyon.
Yeah, like the different mountain ranges they're hiding in. Maybe even snow. Like it goes from like
maybe even snow.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think they'll do Woods again,
Snow
though.
would be good because like then you'd have the tracks. See, like I'm thinking there's got to be like a snow or some kind
And
of
you can use
mud,
the thermal tech, and they can hide in
the
the snow.
thermal.
Yeah.
Dude, yes. Okay. Yeah, we need to be writing this movie. But
hopefully
yeah,
it's not the Woods, because the
you
Woods played out.
you saved it for me because I was about to come on here and be like, why do we need another Predator movie?
No, I was feeling the same
I
way
like
until I
Dan
read the long
Trachtenberg,
line.
but that really makes me interested.
Especially since we don't get a lot of Native American movies, and we don't see a lot of Native American actors. This is a good way for diversity, and this is a way to do it without throwing it in your face like for diversity's sake. This is you came up with a good idea. It fits the diversity thing, and it works. That's how you make diversity be effective, not by just casting saying, oh, we need a woman Batman, or oh, we need this, or no, you come up with a cool idea that involves different nationalities of people, and you make a cool story about it. And that's what this is.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think what you've pitched is incredible. Like I would love to see this movie like ASAP.
Same. So hopefully Dan Trachtenberg gets it done.
One thing I wanted to throw in here, which is completely trash, is I saw that first look for the Clifford the Big Red Dog movie, and
Doesn't
it was
look
terrible.
good. Yeah, they need the Sonic the Hedgehog Clifford.
Yeah, for sure.
Does not look
It's
good.
just because he looks like a giant puppy, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, this just does not look right.
Yeah. But maybe he's supposed to be a puppy, and then he's going to grow into a dog.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna watch this movie. So.
Yeah, me neither. It's for kids. But all right, next up it looks like Godzilla versus King Kong will be the next major movie to forego the theatrical release and head straight to streaming. It's been a long time since we had an official update, but which naturally led to the assumption that the movie has been pushed back and would hit theaters in later 2021 or sometimes in 2022. However, THR is reporting that a streaming debut is more likely. According to THR, Netflix put in an offer for more than $200 million for the film, which Warner Media blocked as they prepare a counteroffer for the rights to send it to HBO Max. Legendary declined to comment, but a Warner Brothers spokesperson said, we plan to release Godzilla vs. King Kong theatrically next year as scheduled, but that doesn't mean it won't go to HBO Max, because they could do a Wonder Woman 1984 where it's released in theaters and HBO Max at the same time. So we shall see. But Warner Brothers is trying to pay to beat Netflix's offer because they do have first rights. So we shall see. I mean, honestly, the last Godzilla movie wasn't that great. I think streaming would help this movie a lot.
And help get eyes on it. I just don't know if it'll help them financially. Unless HBO Max is gonna give them Netflix is gonna give them 200 million, so I guess they're gonna give them like 300 million.
Yeah,
250 million.
Legendary's gonna make the money back.
For them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, if they do a theatrical release, I'm sure they'll get some of the profits. Unless Warner Brothers, when they pay for HBO Max, they're getting full. Like, here's your 400 mil. That's all y'all get, and we're getting the rest. But like, I don't know how that's beneficial to Warner Brothers.
It's really hard about that movie too, because I don't know if you've ever seen these things that pop up on my Facebook, but it's like, monster versus monster, like simulation. Like this is what that feels like to me, It's just like, CGI Godzilla and a CGI King Kong battling each other. I just don't really know if like that's something that I'd really want to like invest time in. It's definitely not something that I feel like I'd want to go pay in theater to go see, even
that's
though
what I'm saying. If it's on HBO Max, I'll watch it.
So that's the thing, yeah. I mean, it's going to be good to get eyes on, but I just, I don't know. I hope that it doesn't confuse other people with being like, oh, look how many people watch it on streaming. Let's make another one.
Oh, no, that's going to happen. If it succeeds, they're going to make another one. But we shall see. Because they had this whole Godzilla universe planned out. It just, Godzilla vs. King of Monsters just wasn't successful, and they kind of dropped the ball. So we're going to have to wait and see. But it's time for Rumors and Small Stories. Coming to America 2 is coming March 5th, 2021 to Amazon Prime. We have a Green Lantern update. Guy Gardner is going to be a hulking mass of masculinity, and he's going to be the embodiment of the 1980s hyper-patriotism that brought us Rambo and Hulk Hogan. Yet, Guy's somehow likable. He might act foolish, but he's not dumb, and he loves his wife and young daughter. With all of his hard partying, fast driving, hot-headed heart, but like many alpha males, there's a deep undercurrent of pain driving it all. His partner will be Bree Jarda, a black female that's half alien, half human. Few landers take their commitment to the corpse and its ideals more serious than Bree. She's half human and it's half. She's worked hard to forget. The daughter of an alien mother and human father, she was raised on another planet in an enlightened, advanced society, outworking her peers and earning her ring, only to find herself partnered with Guy and experience racism in America. The next person is Alan Scott, a white male. From the outside, he's the model of the early 1940s J. Edgar G-man, handsome, clean-shaven, well-dressed, not a hair out of place. Alan spent his life trying to exemplify truth, justice, and the American way. At 28, he's already a household name in Los Angeles, portrayed as a hero in the press. But for all of his honesty, there's a giant lie hovering over Alan. He's a gay man, a fact that in this era could cost him his job or even his life. This show will show 3 stories set in 3 different time periods, the 40s, the 80s, and present day. In present day, we see the Lanterns are Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. There will be 10 episodes, and yeah, that's what. Oh, and the Dominators are some sort of villain who we saw in the CW crossover, the first one. So there's that, and then the
So each little bit is going to be focused on, yeah. So like none of these are going to be intertwined, and also we're not going to be like in an episode where we're doing like, okay, starts the episode with Alan Scott, and then we're going to go to Guy Gardner.
No, I think it's each going to be each episode, like maybe 3 episodes.
I'm thinking like
Alan
3.
Scott, 3 episodes. It's 10. It's 10. So like
It's 10. So like
10, yeah.
3, 3, and 3, and
yeah,
a 1. So
and a 1, yeah. And they might connect in the 1
somehow, yeah.
Somehow, some way, yeah.
Flash.
And then, the next thing we got is after what Warner Brothers is doing with Wonder Woman, Marvel Studios and Disney are considering releasing Black Widow. They're gonna make their decision in a month, aka once they see how Wonder Woman does on HBO Max. So because they don't want to chance it because of Mulan. Also, we've known about a show called Amazons for a while, or a spinoff called Amazons, but we've gotten an update from Patty Jenkins. Now with Wonder Woman 1984 heading to HBO Max on Christmas Day, Patty Jenkins shared a few interesting details on what we can expect from the spinoff. While it could be a movie, people are now suspecting that it may be a TV show, especially with seeing what James Gunn is doing with Peacemaker and with Matt Reeves is doing with his Batman movie. But apparently the spinoff is going to pick up shortly after the events of Wonder Woman and even tie into Wonder Woman 3. The story is a story that Jeff Johns and I came up with. That's what Patty's saying, and introduced to Warner Brothers. The events of the story takes place after Diana leaves Themyscira, the island of Amazons. There are some twists and turns linked to what will happen between Wonder Woman 1984 and Wonder Woman 3. The production of the project has not officially yet started, but I hope we get it because I love this story. So it's going to be about the Amazons between 2 and 3. We shall see. Yeah. I think it might be a TV show just because of everything that's going on with DC. So I don't think it's going to be a movie, though.
Yeah, and I think like if they're trying to, starting from the end of Wonder Woman 1 to getting to Wonder Woman 3, which we assume is going to be
I don't think it's going to be Wonder Woman 1. I think it's going to be more so Wonder Woman 2. But they did say when she leaves Themyscira, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's a broad time
period, yeah,
to fill. And of course, like Amazons don't age, so it's not like you have to like worry about aging.
Yeah,
but like I can't see them doing all of that in a movie.
That's what I'm saying.
It's got to be a series.
That's why it's got to be a TV show. Yeah, no, I'm with you. The next one we have is.
Now, did you mention like in some of these other rumors that like Sinestro is going to be in that?
Oh, we talked about that last week.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, Sinestro is going to be in the Green Lantern series. But the next thing
what's the time period do you think he's going to be in there? Guy Gardner?
Guy Gardner in present day. He can't be in Alan Scott's. I think
he can do both. Right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be in both. I think he's going to cross. But the next thing we have is apparently Naomi Scott is up for a role, the co-lead role in the Obi-Wan series. She's in contention to play this quote-unquote character called Riley, who is the lead female co-lead to Obi-Wan. Also, Thuso Madhu and Anula Navlakar are also up for the role, but Naomi Scott is the most notable of the 3, and she's the favorite. So We shall
I like
see
Naomi Scott.
who joins the Obi-Wan series. But that's all the rumors and small stories that I have for you today, Schubert, my friend.
Now, I think that Obi-Wan is going to encounter someone because I think that it's going to be half of the series is going to be off-world. And so I
Yeah,
think
it can't
like
be on
Naomi,
Tatooine.
so I feel like Naomi Scott is going to be like somebody he meets like Cantina or something like that, who's going to be like the pilot.
Ah, okay. Okay.
That's
I'm with you on that.
that's what I'm leaning because like we were talking about Vader earlier. There's no way that Vader can come to Tatooine. It can't happen.
Yeah. No way, because then he'd know Luke was there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Great point. Great point. You're absolutely right, Shuby.
So we'll see. But I'm excited about that. Like I like Naomi Scott and Aladdin. You know, I didn't see the Charlie Angels reboot, but I didn't think that she was going to be the worst part of that. And I would be interested to have her join the Star Wars universe. So
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. All right, let's get to Movie on the Rise.
all right, I'll go ahead and start things off. So I'm going to cover our bases here with a few different streaming services. So the first one, Netflix. There's a movie coming out on Monday or Tuesday, I believe. It's called The Second. It's about a Secret Service person who has to protect one of his son's classmates who's like a daughter of a senator, and there's like a conspiracy to kill her or whatever. It's got Ryan Phillippe in it. From what I saw on IMDb, it's like a middle of the road kind of film. That's a Netflix movie, obviously, but I
Yeah.
think it'd be worth checking out when it comes out. It's easy watching. But
All
the
right.
next one I have is another movie. It's coming out on Hulu. I don't know if we mentioned it before, but it's the Kristen Stewart film where she and her girlfriend are going home for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, and Kristen Stewart's girlfriend hasn't told her family that she's a lesbian or that she's dating a girl.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, 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 yeah. I've seen the trailer for that. That looks good.
it looks really funny. And I was watching Dan Levy on, I think, Fallon, and he was talking about his role, and they showed some clips of it, and it looks really funny. So I'm interested to check that out. It's on Hulu now.
Oh, I'm going to definitely check that
And
out.
the last one I have here is the Kaylee Cuoco series, The Flight Attendant, which at first I thought was going to be goofy, but now I've come to find is very serious. And again, I saw her on the late night circuits talking about it and seen some clips of it, and it looks like it could be a pretty good series on HBO Max.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Shout out to
That
those.
starts on Thanksgiving.
The thing I'm the most excited for is Happiest Season. Oh, what do you think? Before I get into mine, what do you think? Because Thanksgiving's tomorrow, and the people are hearing this on this. What's the best Thanksgiving related movie you've seen? I think Spider-Man might be the best Thanksgiving movie. Spider-Man, the first one, because you got to think that scene where Norman Osborn they're cutting the turkey. It's very crucial to the plot. That's where he figures out Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Like, there's so much tension. I really like that. That is like my Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah, you put me on the spot there. I really haven't really thought about like Thanksgiving movies. Whenever I think of Thanksgiving movies, the only thing I think of at the moment is that Tiffany Haddish movie.
Oh, The Oath.
The
They
Oath.
say Knives Out. They say Knives Out takes place during Thanksgiving.
It's not very clear.
It's not clear at all. Yeah, that's why I said Spider-Man.
See, yeah, I didn't even like remember that. So I'm sure there's like some other ones out
Four
there.
Brothers. You know, there's not that many things. People don't really go to Thanksgiving as like a movie background. National Treasure, they say takes place during Thanksgiving.
I think I remember that that's true, but that's one thing that I think that really needs to be touched on a little bit more. When we think of like holiday movies, Christmas is definitely the one that everyone goes to. I feel like Valentine's Days I'd say Halloween's second, and then probably third would be like Valentine's Day, maybe New Year's, because they're kind of like hand in hand. Really.
Yeah.
And so usually a romantic background with either. But I don't know why you wouldn't touch on more Thanksgiving-based things. I think you can do good murder mysteries with Thanksgiving. I think you could do really good comedies with Thanksgiving. You could do really good, like, feel-good dramas during Thanksgiving. Like, I feel like Thanksgiving needs to be set as more of a backdrop.
Mardi
Underrated
Gras.
holiday.
Mardi Gras is a pretty good holiday too.
I feel that's not getting utilized.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Like I feel like you could set up a lot of stuff, especially using New Orleans or even Mobile or any of the southern Mardi Gras celebrating cities as a
Yeah.
backdrop for a good movie.
No, I agree 1000%. All right, let me do my movie on the rise. I was just writing out something that we need for later in the show. I just had to write it out and
Hmm.
look at it clear. But all right,
Yeah.
my movie on the rise. I'm starting off with Uncle Frank. It's a movie that's on Amazon Prime right now. In 1973, Frank Bledsoe and his 18-year-old niece Beth take a road trip from Manhattan to Creeksville, South Carolina, for the family patriarch funeral. They're unexpectedly joined by Frank's lover Walid, and his family doesn't know that he's gay, or they don't like to talk about it, one or the other. And it's played by Paul Bettany. And I just thought
Oh
that
wow.
the trailer really intrigued me. I thought the trailer was very interesting, and it made me really want to watch this movie. It looked really good. Judy Greer's also in it. Steve Zahn is also in it. Katie Brewer. But Paul Bettany is really like the main big name, and he really kills it. Oh, and Sophia Lillis, your girl from Stranger Things, is the
Mm.
niece. So I'm really excited to watch this. This is a movie I'm gonna definitely watch with my girlfriend. It's like a good girlfriend movie to watch. Also, We Are the Champions. It's a
Yeah, Sophia
Netflix
Lillis is it.
documentary where it's just about different weird champions, people winning weird shit. Thought it was interesting. But HBO has a new show called Industry, and it looks just like sex, drugs, rock and roll, and business. You get a group of young graduates compete for a permanent position at the top investment bank in London, but the boundaries between colleague, friend, lover, and enemy soon blur as they immerse themselves in this new world, and shit gets real. People doing blow, people fucking in the bathroom. Shit is just wow. So I'm
Hell
definitely
yeah.
checking out Industry. But that's my movie this week, brother.
That's all good. Yeah, we got two coming out movies on here.
Yeah, and look,
Two very different ones.
one
But
thousand percent.
one thing that I was thinking about, well, first Sophia Lillis is from It,
Oh yeah, she's not from Stranger Things. Yeah.
and second Paul Bettany. I didn't put this in the notes, but I did see something, and you're wearing the Dunder Mifflin shirt, so it makes me think about it. Where they're talking about how um, WandaVision is going to have like a little bit of The Office to it, where like they're going to be like breaking the fourth wall
Oh
and talking
yeah.
to the camera and looking at the camera and stuff like that.
Okay. Then I can see that coming. January, we're gonna get it. So hopefully it's fire. I'm sad they moved it back, but January, cool. It's close enough. We're right there anyway.
All right. Well, speaking of breaking the fourth wall, let's talk about a TV show that did that incredibly well, and that's The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They had their reunion on HBO Max, which is pretty much
Just the
one part
cast talking.
documentary, one part like reunion cast. Like it, I thought it was very powerful.
Yeah, I thought it was great. You get things like Aunt Viv and Will, Black Aunt Viv, Jennifer, or I think her name is Jeanette Hubbard. Let me look.
Oh, yeah, her name is Janet or
Janet,
Jeanette. Yeah,
Janet Hubbard. Uh, and we learned that
she looked
like,
great.
yeah, she did. We learned that the feud with Will, like Will regretted doing it. Will thought she was coming for him, and like she wasn't. She was going through a pregnancy at the time. She was going through
Abusive marriage.
abuse of marriage. Yeah, and she was just going through a rough time.
Yeah, the studio was pretty much like shorting her. Like they were
Yeah,
like, "Oh yeah, so we're really only going to pay you for this, and you can't have any other work." And she was like,
yep.
"Well, I mean, like I have a husband with no job and a kid. Like I need to like
I
make
need to
money."
work. Yeah, exactly. And she got screwed, but it was good seeing her and Will like reconnect and like bury the hatchet. It was also powerful when they talked about James Avery and just how much he meant to the
And
show.
then, yeah, and, you don't really know a lot about the people. We know a lot about Alfonso and Will, obviously, because they're the bigger name people. And maybe you knew more so about James Avery, but I didn't really realize like who he was as a human
Yeah,
until
he's a good
really
dude.
watching this.
Yeah.
And knowing that he was like a big thespian, Shakespearean background,
Yeah, he was
loved
a
like
theater
all of the
actor.
arts,
Yeah.
and you can definitely notice that when you look back and think about like the character of Uncle Phil. But just the impact that he had not only on the people on the set,
But
but
Will,
Will, and what his character meant for people in the world. That was the thing about this series as a sitcom was, and you can attest to it even more so than me about the cultural impact it had.
it was huge,
Um,
man. It was huge. The way that it showed that black isn't a monolith of just gangs and violence. It showed like a black family that had all different types of backgrounds in it, of poor, rich, and it just showed that just like I said, it just shows that black people aren't a monolith, and it just shows different forms of black people. Showed black love. It was really great for the time. Like if the Cosby Show gave you this unrealistic idea of what black people are, this gave you, and I know people may say it's unrealistic, but this gave you a realistic look at how what black wealth interacts with the relative, like people who are wealthy that are black people interact with their non-wealthy family members, and how it's realistic. And I think they nailed that on the head tremendously.
sure. One thing I thought was really interesting was when the woman who played Hillary was talking about that they were thinking about making her into like a strong black female character, like kind of changing who her character was later down the line.
Mm.
And they were talking about how they had way more influence on like how the show was driven and within the week.
Yeah.
And she was like, I really feel like who Hillary is telling, and really like tells a different kind of perspective of a black woman, that she wanted to keep pushing Hillary the way that she was, and like not totally flip her character.
But
And just
see,
the
that's
idea
where the
that they
difference
had
between Hillary and the younger sister, because the younger sister is the more, when you think of typical strong black woman.
oh, for sure. But I think it was one of those things where like Hillary had already established herself as like the out of touch
Yeah.
sister. So it was like, why would you just flip her on the head? Like make that be like more so of like,
And that
and
just
fit
shows
that
their
to the
multiple
story.
voice. They're like, that
Exactly.
voice exists out there. Yeah, no, 1000%. This was
Mm-hmm.
great. And I love seeing the new Aunt Viv and the old Aunt Viv. I just loved it all. Love seeing Jeffrey back.
Hearing about the auditions, like seeing Alfonso's audition, which was pretty bad. Hearing Will's story about going to Quincy Jones's house. I don't want to go into that. People should really watch this reunion special and find out these stories.
Hearing how
Um,
Jazzy Jeff didn't even want to do it.
I love that they had Jazzy Jeff in there, and Will mouthing people's lines. Like that was early on. I thought that was really funny.
Yep. No, Quincy's and Will's relation, like Quincy Jones is so responsible for this series. Without him, it doesn't happen.
For sure. The laugh track stuff was great. I even remember like how when you think of like laugh track comedies, like I think more so like the last big laugh track comedy was Big Bang. And that was obviously piped in.
Yeah.
Because like if you ever heard like them doing taping without the laugh track, it's so cringingly awkward. What I think was great about the 90s and the 90s sitcoms was that you had the live audiences. And I feel like when when Alfonso was saying that at some point like getting a Fresh Prince taping ticket was like the hottest ticket in town. I feel like that's something that we're missing out in today's culture, like to be able to like be on set and see these actors doing their craft and to a live audience.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be something that could really benefit. And if you were going to do a laugh track
different
sitcom
now, man. Like if you're doing a laugh track show, yes, but like
that's what I'm saying. Like if you really wanted to bring back the laugh track sitcom comedy, that should
you
be
got
the
to
way
do it
to
live.
do it. Where it's not only the week to week show, but it's also a live event that I'm in LA. I'm going to go to the taping of, The Neighborhood. Bad example of it. Not a good show, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And it just depends on the show. Like, it really, really depends on the show. Because, like, New Girl would have been benefited great from that. But, like, It's Always Sunny, not so much.
No. And it's also very hard because, like, for
they
something like New Girl,
sets.
I don't necessarily know. Because even New Girl has a little bit of multiple sets, or at least, like, you can see that it's not a set stage. Like, they rotate. It's in, like, a building.
Yeah.
But the other thing I have in here, and, I was mentioning it to you off air that I was glad you were wearing the Dunder Mifflin shirt. I feel like the fourth wall stuff that really started with the Fresh Prince, Will walked so that Jim Halpert could run with like looking at the camera and like, you know, playing the audience and being incorporating with the audience, even though The Office isn't like straight up incorporating with like a live audience, you know, it's a documentary based thing. So that, you know, he's looking and it's like, okay, well, isn't this crazy? Like, can you believe that? Like stuff, you know. So and seeing how all of that stuff kind of established with that and Carlton like running into the crowd and all that, you know, really kind of did things that other sitcoms weren't doing at the time, not only with it being a all black cast telling, you know, black stories at a time that was still not necessarily
the hip
kosher
thing.
with all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Thanks.
But it changed the whole game when it comes to sitcoms for everybody.
It definitely did. No, 1,000%. I think you phrased that the best. I don't really have much more to say except people go watch it.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Fresh Prince fan, it's great.
It was really fresh on my mind when we recorded this because I watched it right before, and like I just, you know, I was giving you crap for making me watch it, but I really enjoyed getting to.
It was worth it.
Check it out.
But you know what was worth watching? The Animaniacs. My God, is this the best reboot yet?
It's the most meta reboot about how it was a reboot.
It's a reboot,
that's for sure.
Bro. The songs, the comedy, it felt
well,
like...
the new song works because, like, I love the thing where it's like, you know, we're gender neutral and, here's our new contracts and, like,
the jokes, like, it all worked from the intro to the episode where they're talking about, like, it's a reboot and they're, like, talking about they need to catch up on all the things they've missed. And they didn't hold back on Trump. They didn't hold back on guns. Like, they had one skit where it was, like, they were using
the bunny
bunnies.
One is about guns, right?
Yeah, like they were so meta. They still kept the themes, and the only thing I'm missing from this show is the side characters. That's the only thing the show's missing.
Which they told you why. Did you not see that episode?
Wait, which one is that?
There's an episode where they're getting hunted, and the hunter has killed all the side characters.
Oh, I don't know if I got.
That may be the next one you're supposed to watch. I won't tell you like the twist of it, but like they explain like what happened to the side characters.
Oh, so are we never getting them back? They're dead?
No, they're gone.
Damn! Do we get new side characters?
Not that I've seen so far. It's just them and Pinky and the Brain.
That's the only thing I miss. But Pinky and the Brain feels timeless. Like, this is great. I'm so happy they Animaniacs.
You know, some of the stuff that Pinky and the Brain are even touching on are very meta, very current. You know, what I think the one that I'm thinking the most is like the videos, like
where he's trying to make the meme, where he's trying to become a meme. Shit was great. The Donald Trump shit, the big orange one, that was great. Like, Animaniacs are just awesome. It really was just awesome, and I think. If you're a fan of because this doesn't feel like a kid's show, it feels like for the fans of the Animaniacs from the 90s. If you were a fan of that show growing up, you'll be a fan of this one now.
Yeah, and all the people who are out there canceling it, I mean, don't cancel it over like a 5-second joke that didn't really...
What are they canceling it over? What joke?
They touch on the whole Johnny Depp thing. In like a small little poster that like insinuates that he was...
innocent?
That he was not innocent. That he was like the wife beater. Pretty much.
That was before they knew.
Exactly. It was written in 2018.
They even say that. They say if we're late on some stuff, it's because we wrote this on 2018. Oh no, yeah. I'm not. They're tripping over that. That's ridiculous. But
it was trending on Twitter.
And also, I missed the Wheel of Morality. I missed Dot's Corner. There's certain things that I like how they brought Dot's.
It's gonna come back. You know?
I like how they did Dot's theater. They gave her a new thing, which I think works really well, but we're just going to have to wait and see what they do with season 2.
I loved the math thing. Did you see the math thing?
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious.
No, that was
for something that was just so simple. They made it hilarious. So like, I really did enjoy it. We only watched I think you watched what, 5?
I watched 5. Yeah.
Okay. Cause I think I watched 6. I think that's the 6th one is the Hunter one that you're missing.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, there's, I think 13 total
Yep, and we're getting a season 2. Has been
and there's going to be a
confirmed.
season 2. So I think that they're on the right track here. I'm hoping that more people get into it. I'm hoping people who are listening to the show, if you're Animaniacs fans, you have to
Check it
watch
out.
it.
Yeah, you
And if
got
you're
to.
and if you didn't really get into Animaniacs before, that's not only an opportunity for you to get introduced to it, because even those episodes in the past
Are still
hold up to
relevant.
an extent.
Yeah, they do. Especially if you just remember 90s culture. Because all it is just 90s jokes.
Yeah, and I mean, and they talk about that in this, where it's like, we're everything that we did before was '90s jokes, and so how can we be current? And that's like the whole fight for this show. But they've done a really good job, and the writers do a great job on like making it relevant and
I'm
current.
interested to see because the writers and people who worked on the first Animaniacs go on to do some amazing things. Justice League, the animated series. They go on to work on animated series throughout the early 2000s, some of our favorite shows. I'm interested to see if the
Oh, so wait,
writers.
so did you see the one with the Pinky and the Brain where he was a senator?
Yes,
Oh, okay. See, that was a really good one too.
that was great. And I'm interested to see if the writers of this show and people who work on it, I'm interested to see the work that comes after this, because the work that came after the first Animaniacs was great. And I'm assuming that these people are going to start to do more animated stuff. So I'm only just excited for that. HBO Max messed up by not having this on its platform.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially because
Warner
Animaniacs
Bro, they had
is
so
Warner
many.
Brothers.
They had so many like cameos of like badly drawn Batman and Wonder Woman, where if they would have had it on HBO Max, we could have got the real deal.
I think that's partly why they couldn't have a lot of the side characters, is because they're
Yeah.
not incorporated with Warner Brothers for real.
And they tried to
So,
show the Looney Tunes and like the Fred Flintstone Looney Tunes where they show all of them. That was great. Like, that's
yeah,
why I wish it was on HBO Max so we could have got more of it.
definitely. But
Those are my
it's
only
great.
complaints. But yeah, no, this is great. All right, lead us, Star Wars one.
So Mandalorian
This episode was
season
short.
2, episode 4. It was a shorter episode. I think it was longer than the third episode.
It was just action. Like, I felt like everything that happened fast. Like, I felt like I wasn't watching
Yeah.
it for a long time.
Like, there really isn't too much that I want to deep dive into this.
Not much.
Mainly because like it's not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily matter too much.
Yeah, especially
Because
since these people are like, he dipped from them fast. Like, the only important shit is the Moff Gideon shit.
Sure. So like this episode more so than others felt like a theme park ride.
Yeah.
But I don't mean that in a bad way. Because Carl Weathers directed this episode, and I think he did a beautiful job directing a side mission episode.
Yeah, it was action packed.
It was action packed. It carried the plot, but it was necessary. Like, we knew his ship was damaged. Let's go to Navarro, meet back up with our people. Let's fix the ship. Hey, we need your help. This is what we're doing.
Yep.
You get some good baby Yoda moments. The comedic use that Carl Weathers did with the puppet was beautiful. The starting sequence where Baby Yoda's in the ship, like trying to repair things. Funny scene. The interactions
cuteness of him when he's flying in the ship, when Mando's shooting stuff down, where he has his hand in like a roller coaster. That was great. Him taking the macaroons with the Force. That was great. A lot of just great stuff with Baby Yoda. I also liked. Was there a Snoke reference in that container, or was that like the Emperor's clone? Like,
see, like that's definitely
that Outer Rim talk.
Mm-hmm. No, oh yeah, the Outer Rim talk is usual. Like that had more to do with like the Rebel pilot, or I guess Republic pilot, who came in and was like, trying to get the lowdown. We want to secure the Outer Rim more. Like, you guys need to help us, and they're like, you guys can't do shit.
Yeah.
And but yeah, with the Snoke reference, I don't necessarily know if it was a Snoke reference, but I feel like with what we know about the sequel trilogy and seeing what they're trying to do with the midichlorians of Baby Yoda, and like what I more so think is happening is that Moff Gideon is obsessed with the Jedi.
Yeah.
He wants to find a way to become Force sensitive. Like that's what I feel like that is leading up to, and him acquiring the dark saber is like, okay, well, I don't know how to make a lightsaber, so I'm going to take this one.
Yeah. He's gonna put midichlorians in him. It's either that, or they're trying to use Baby Yoda's midichlorians to clone for whoever, or they're trying to make that type. Or they're trying to make the Emperor. Yeah, one of the two.
I don't really want to harp too much on like the little mission, but bringing back that blue guy, the Mithril, I thought was
Yeah, that was
funny
cool.
and it worked. And like he had some good lines, like the guardrail thing when he's slicing stuff.
I definitely would have fell off. Also, we see the Death Troopers, which I know you're excited about.
Maybe
Maybe, yeah.
that's part of the idea. The Dark Trooper concept. It's been big in the games. Like there's a computer game that had them, and for a lot of people wondering what that is, really, it's not a human. It's like the battle droids from the Clone Wars, but modified and very hard for Jedi to fight.
Yep.
That was like the whole deal about the Dark Troopers in the past and in the Legends. So like I feel like that could also be a part of what they're doing with the Baby Yoda is like withstanding against force sensitive users. So like that's all things that were being considered into this episode.
Yeah, this was just like the pit stop. This was just like a gas tank fill up.
Pretty much. And I loved the end where he's fighting in the ship. I thought that was done very well. The little canyon thing again was what I felt like a roller coaster side mission.
Yep.
And some people that I've been listening to say that it felt like a Star Tours ride.
Yeah.
Which is fine, and I don't think that that's a bad thing.
No,
I don't
it's
think
not.
that's a knock on the Mandalorian or what Carl Weathers did in this episode. I think obviously, I feel like Bryce Dallas Howard's episode is second to Favreau's. I would put Carl Weathers under that, but it's not knocking him at all because we've only had 4.
Yeah.
And Filoni's episode is gonna be great, but we'll see what happens with the rest of them. I feel like we've had a really solid start.
No, we definitely have. 1,000%. The hype leading into this one, Filoni got a lot to live up to, baby. Friday. We got, better be an hour. 52.
It is an hour. It's 58 minutes. It's been said.
True. All right, yeah, I need it.
The one thing I'll say about this episode before we go into speculating episode 5, they had that Game of Thrones Starbucks cup flub with the hallway guy.
Yeah. Oh,
pretty crazy.
That was wild, and you can see it clear as day.
Yeah. And the other little side thing that if you have to look in the background to see is that in Navarro they have a statue dedicated to IG-11.
Oh yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah. Knew that. All right, Ahsoka, what's up? I think she's gonna fight Moff Gideon.
Yeah, now that we know that Moff Gideon has the tracker on the Mandalorian, so we know that
he's gonna whoop his ass.
I don't think she's going to kill him, mainly because I don't really feel like she's ever been a killer. But I feel like he's going to have to leave with his tail tucked in between his legs, pretty much.
And then I feel like Jin's gonna fight him, get the Darksaber, and that's gonna be his new weapon. You don't think he's gonna get it?
No, I feel like this is like the battle before the battle because it's like in the middle of the season.
Oh no, I don't think he's gonna get it right now. I'm saying he's gonna get it at the end of the
eventually.
Season. Yeah,
maybe so. Yeah, I feel like eventually he's going to have to be the one to earn that more so than Ahsoka getting it for him. Like, I don't want Ahsoka to be like – I don't want to – what's the one I'm most worried about this episode is I don't want Ahsoka to overtake the show. Like, that's one thing that when you're watching Rebels, that Ahsoka kind of steals the screen time. It's
that's definitely going to happen, especially since Filoni's writing it and he's about to
will she be on screen a lot? Yes, but I'm saying, like, this show is the Mandalorian. Like, we want to make sure that he's gonna
be a side character in episode 5.
In episode 5, that's fine. Like, for one episode, but I'm saying, like, moving forward, and what is he going to do? Is he going to leave the child there? I feel like it all depends on like what happens to that Moff Gideon thing. Like, maybe she like gives herself in exchange for Baby Yoda. Maybe she, to give her like that gives us maybe another episode with her, just her, where she's like infiltrating the Empire kind of deal, like slicing people up. So like that's one thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking that I don't think she comes with them. That's where I'm really hard. Like I really just don't understand like what we're trying to do at this point because it's season 2. We know there's gonna be season 3. Without the child, like what really is the show? Like is that like what we're leading to at this point? Like are we leading to like a pass off of the child?
That's what I'm feeling.
And I feel like that's what we are leading to. But like, if so, then like we need to dial in that we are having a Rosario Dawson Ahsoka series.
And that's why I think she's going to be taken over, like you said, like with Rebels, because it's going to be like, all right, if you liked her in this, well, her and Baby Yoda are having their own show. So if you want to see all that cuteness, ladies, go to Ahsoka.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering like what happens with Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks' character, because like I thought that was the next direction for the
For
Mandalorian.
him,
So hearing
yeah.
that Sasha Banks isn't coming back, I'm like, okay, well, like what is he supposed to do now?
That's why I don't know if I believe her, because I feel like that is the next path for him of going restore Mandalore, getting the dark saber, doing that whole thing.
Yeah,
So,
but
but solid
this
episode.
this was a solid episode, and what is coming on Friday is gonna be especially good.
Yeah, no, 100%. All right, let's talk Nick cartoons versus Cartoon Network. I feel like this isn't debatable. Cartoon Network definitely had the better cartoons. Am I crazy? Am
No,
I
you're not
crazy?
crazy.
People were arguing that Nick was better. I said if you include live action, then yes, Nick is equal to Cartoon Network, if not better. But there's no way that if you're talking just cartoons, Nick beats Cartoon Network. You have Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, Fred Flintstones, Tom and Jerry, Jetsons, pup named Scooby-Doo, and this is just the old school shit. And then you have all the superhero shit from Static Shock, Batman, Batman
See,
Beyond, Teen
now
Titans, Young
what I want to
Justice.
argue for with like this is that I want to look at just the Nickelodeon properties with just the Cartoon Network properties, like because like Cartoon Network owns some IP, which help them. Like
Yeah.
with that you get the superhero shows and all that.
But
You
Teen
had
Titans is a Cartoon
the
Network
OG
original.
Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Like Teen Titans is a Cartoon Network. That's the only place it played. Young Justice, same thing. Now you don't have to count Static and Batman the animated series. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
because those are like
WB.
WB. But Teen Titans, the anime version one, and Young Justice are two cartoons that count for Cartoon Network.
Yeah, well, the only reason I'm like saying that is because like when you're comparing Nickelodeon doesn't have any IP that can hold up to
no, that's true.
Superhero. So like that's where I'm.
Well, they did do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a little bit. They have Avatar,
which Avatar is their sole creation. Like that's what I'm saying. Like
but that's why
Batman
I say Teen
the animated
Titans.
series wasn't the sole creation of Cartoon Network. You know what I'm saying?
But Teen Titans is though.
But like where I think like where Nickelodeon gets the pushback is that they have like some really really iconic shows like SpongeBob. Last 20 years. The Rugrats was really huge for people's childhood, and even like doing the All Grown Up series, like a lot of people really bought in. Fairly Odd Parents is essential show for a lot of people growing up.
But then
Phantom.
Then I hit you with the flip of Powerpuff Girls,
Hey Arnold,
Dexter's Lab,
now,
Ed, Ed and Eddie, Codename Kids Next Door.
Now, I mean, like if we're getting into the real nitty gritty, like I honestly think that Danny Phantom is better than Powerpuff Girls.
Ooh, but like, all right, now you got me doing it. I gotta pull up their slate. Samurai Jack. I raise you Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack wins.
And that's what
I'm not going to argue with you that Cartoon Network had the better cartoons. I'm just saying that like Nick does have some spearhead.
Oh no, Nick has some great cartoons.
Nick has some staples that like really pushes them ahead, but like the density of all the Cartoon Network stuff. Because like I guess what hindered Nickelodeon a little bit too is that it was not only just a cartoon channel, it was the cartoons and live action.
That's the thing. And their game shows and live action put it over the edge. Like, look, bro, you got Ben 10 to compete with Danny Phantom.
Well, and see, this is where like I get to it again, where let's say like 2004 is the marker. I feel like pre 2004, you can argue that some of the Nick shows hold a flame to the Cartoon Network, and then like post 2004, Cartoon Network owns because anything that Nick did.
Okay, pre 2004. Let me tell you what Cartoon Network has: Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Codename Kids Next Door,
Great.
Samurai Jack, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken, Johnny Bravo, and Dexter's Laboratory, and Space Ghost Coast to Coast,
which was an Adult Swim show.
And Star Wars Clone Wars starts off in 2003.
Tarkovsky or the
Tarnakowski. Yes,
yeah.
sir. So that's tough. And then you go post 2004. You got Megas XLR, which I think is gas. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Hi Puffy Ami Yumi. The Lifetime's Juniper Lee. Camp Laszlo. My Gym Partner's a Monkey. Ben 10. Class of 3000. Chowder. Uh,
Adventure Time,
Adventure Time.
regular show.
Generator Rex. Regular show. Symbiotic Titan. Steven Universe. And Clarence, We Bear Bears, and yeah, now we're to the present. So like, that's a tough list
And
to beat.
yeah, and so like the pre stuff I'm talking about is you had Doug came on Nickelodeon. It was also a Disney property, but it came on Nickelodeon in '91. Rugrats, uh, Rocko's Modern Life, even though I wouldn't say it's the best one. Hey Arnold. People really like Cat Dog. I didn't like Cat Dog. Rocket Power, Wild Thornberries, As Told by Ginger was really more of the teenage show before we really got into teenage shows. Invader Zim, which wasn't necessarily my thing. Fairly Odd Parents debuted in 2001. Chalk Zone, Jimmy Neutron was 2002. All Grown Up was 2003. Danny Phantom was 04. Avatar was 05. So I'm going to say 05 is the mark.
Like,
But,
bro, when you count the stuff they own too, Warner Brothers, you got Two Stupid Dogs, Scooby-Doo, The Addams Family, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Animaniacs, Aquaman, Baby Looney Tunes, Barney,
not only, and then of course
Batman.
Cartoon Network owned all the Toonami properties, so like that's Cartoon Network just had way more than like Nickelodeon could ever fight up against. Like
Yeah, because
so
you
like
start
what
throwing
I'm
Dragon Ball Z and Naruto in there. Like,
yeah, so like what I'm saying is like in this pre 2005, if you had to pick the top 5 Cartoon Network against the top 5 Nickelodeon, like what would you get out of that? So I
all
guess
right,
like
what would you say the
if
top 5 Nickelodeon are pre 2005?
Rugrats, Rocket Power, Fairly Odd Parents,
SpongeBob.
Avatar and SpongeBob.
All right. And then if you're saying that's pre 2005, let me see when Teen Titans are, because that is pre 2005 that I'm using.
I think it is.
All right, so Teen Titans 2003. Okay, cool. So Teen Titans is battling Avatar for me. Ed and Eddie, Dexter's Lab, Codename Kids Next Door, Samurai Jack.
Yeah, I mean it's just no debate with Cartoon Network. Like, and that you could even like throw 4 other names in that Cartoon
And yeah,
Network
you could have
thing,
said
and like
Courage,
and all I would have
Johnny Bravo, or Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy too.
and all I would have on my end is like I could be like, oh well, Danny Phantom, that was a good one. But then like a lot of it is very, very niche. Like they're like stuff there's some stuff in Nickelodeon that people like live and die by, like let's say like the Angry Beavers or Cat Dog, but I don't like those shows. Or Invader Zim as well.
And I'm
Where
not a big
like
SpongeBob fan, so
but then there's like shows that I like think were some of the greatest cartoons that I ever watched that were on Nickelodeon that some people don't like. Like Hey Arnold, I think was one of the greatest cartoons created.
Definitely is.
I enjoyed the Wild Thornberries, but it wasn't great. As Told by Ginger, like I said, I feel like was a very good show for the times. And then Jimmy Neutron, I would just have a soft spot for because I was a big fan of the movie and all that. But and like I said, like post 2005, you can't say that Nickelodeon has anything.
Any chance?
And like Cartoon Network kept going.
Yeah, and they kept killing. And Ben 10's big for them. Ben 10 is huge.
I don't like that they're bringing it back.
Yeah, I don't like. Well, that's the Teen Titans Go formula for that. But Cartoon Network right now is not in a good space. But they don't have any competition, so it doesn't matter. Like when they had competition, you saw what they put out. When they don't, that's what they put out. So when you're winning, you can just do what you want. But I just wanted to bring that up because that was a big conversation on Twitter. Let's get to our main discussion topic, our top 5. We haven't done a list in a while. Our top 5 directors. And Shuby, I had to cheat the list a little bit.
Okay, well, I cheated the list a little bit with my number 5. I put 2 in number 5.
All right, well, I have a 6. I put 2 in number 5 as well, and I have a 6. So.
All right, well, do your 6 because I don't have a 6.
All right, my 6 is tied with 2 people. I have Spike Lee, just for Malcolm X, Black Klansman, Do the Right Thing. Just the way he portrayed Black life in movies was just great. He's one of the best filmmakers of all time. To me, I just have issues with the way Spike Lee tells some of his stories when you see things like Chirac and just some of his misses. He could not make the top 5 list compared to some of these other guys, but I had to say Spike Lee because he is one of the best directors of all time. And then tied with him at 6, I have Alfred Hitchcock. Yes, I'm saying some old names, baby. Alfred Hitchcock, what he did with Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window, the way that it's shot from just Jimmy Stewart being inside of his house trying to solve a murder from his room, and we're seeing it all from the angle of him looking through a photo lens. An immaculate film. The film with Cary Grant on where Cary Grant plays the cat, the burglar, that was a great film. Vertigo, just Alfred Hitchcock, what he did with Mr. Thriller, horror, he revolutionized it, and without him, we wouldn't have some of the things that I love. So that's my number 6, but I'll do number 5, and then you'll go number 5. Or no, you go number 5, then I'll go. Yeah.
All right, for my number 5, I have the 2 people. For me, I really just tried to look at directors, and I was like, okay, well, can I have 4 movies that like I'm really into from them? And so my first person at number 5 is Edgar Wright.
Ooh.
We talked about Scott Pilgrim and how great a movie that Scott Pilgrim was. You know, I also feel like the Simon Pegg saga movies was also, you know, huge for comedy and pushing it forward. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then most recently, Baby Driver. So like Edgar Wright, I feel like is someone, you know, one of the criteria that I had for the list is like, if I'm seeing a movie coming out with this director, I'm interested in seeing it. And at this moment, from what Edgar Wright has done in recent times, like in the past decade with Scott Pilgrim and Baby Driver, I want to see an Edgar Wright movie.
Hey, I'm not mad at that. Now you got me pulling up my 4 movies.
The next one for me is Ron Howard. Now, Ron Howard, it's one of those things where you're throwing in Alfred Hitchcock. Some of Ron Howard's older movies are movies that are essential to, you know, being a movie person. You know, not only do I really enjoy Solo, and I thought it was very well done for him to have recovered. You know, one of my favorite movies ever in the past decade was Rush. Felt like Rush was an amazing movie. We've talked about it so many times before. I was a big fan of Tom Hanks and the Da Vinci Code, which he did. I think Beautiful Mind is a very, very good movie with Russell Crowe. Some of the movies that he's done in his past also are huge, timeless films, whether it's Willow, Apollo 13, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You know, he has some movies in his past that, you know, really kind of hold the test of time. So that's why I have Ron Howard where he is. Like, you know, and I feel like a lot of people are interested in the Hillbilly Elegy mainly because Ron Howard is behind it and Amy Adams.
That's true. All right, I'm still in the past again for number 5. So when I think of movies that really just impact, this is where number 5 comes in, because without these 2 men, everything that we love today would not exist. Star Wars would not exist. Cowboy Bebop would not exist. Trigun would not exist. None of the things that we love and hold dear would exist. The first one I'm saying is Akira Kurosawa. Schubert said about the 4 movie thing, 7 Samurai, which is basically the Magnificent 7 before the Magnificent 7. Rashomon, Yojimbo. Yojimbo is the story of the samurai going save people, like going save like a group of people that so like all of that, and some of it's he's also like a smuggler, bounty hunter type thing. That's Star Wars through and through. And then you look at you could either go Hidden Fortress, Throne of Blood, or even Rand, which is one of some work that got done in 1985. So Akira Kurosawa, without him, you would not have any of the things that we hold dear today. And the next guy that I have tied with him, because I feel like if I mention him, I have to mention the counterpart to which I love, where it's samurai films, and then on the other side, Westerns. And funny enough, this man wasn't an American director. He's an Italian director. Funny enough, the best person to make American Western films wasn't American. It was an Italian, Sergio Leone. You look at The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, the Dollars trilogy, The Man Without a Name. He put Clint Eastwood on a map. He put the idea of bounty hunting on the map. He put the idea of the Mexican standoff on the map, where you see From the Good, the Bad, the Ugly. We see it multiple times in things like Reservoir Dogs. We saw it in the
It's a pop
Mandalorian.
culture thing, you know. It's in
It
everything.
it it permeated the zeitgeist. But not only that, you have those are the three films that people know him for. But when you look at it, Once Upon a Time in the West is the quintessential Western movie that is just freaking amazing that people don't even mention. And then you go to 1984, where he does it with Robert De Niro in gangster films with Once Upon a Time in America. This man is just one of the best directors. His scores are always great, with his legendary score guy that he always worked with, Ennio Morricone. Just great work. And without him, the Western would not be what it is, and a lot of the stuff that we love would not be where it is. So at number 5, I have Akira Kurosawa and Sergio Leone. Now, I promise you, now I'm going modern. I just had to get my past people out the way, because I've been watching a lot of old movies.
Number 4 for me is, I'd say, like my biggest blast from the past, which isn't really that far in the past, but it's probably the biggest name of all, is Spielberg.
I'm glad you put Spielberg on, because I did not.
Yeah, for me, Spielberg, you know, whether it starts in the 70s with Jaws, Close Encounters of a Third Kind, 2 movies that I really love. You know, he gets into the Indiana Jones saga, Jurassic Park, you know, Saving Private Ryan, Minority Report, Catch Me If You Can. Like, these are all fantastic movies. And even getting into the most recent decade, I was a huge fan of War Horse, The Adventures of Tintin, and of course Ready Player One, one of the more recent ones. So Spielberg, again, is someone that if I see a Spielberg movie's coming, then it has like sort of a, you know, I don't know the right word to say, but when you hear that Spielberg
has
is putting a
level
movie,
of gravitas behind, has a certain level of
pretty,
like carte blanche. Like
pretty
when
much, it's
when
like,
Spielberg's going, you're going to watch it.
You know, it's going to be, you may not think it's going to be like a masterpiece in cinema, but you know it's going to be a blockbuster hit.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. 100%.
So,
I like that pick. I'm glad you put him, because Spielberg is one of the GOATs, and he needed to be on one
I didn't
of our
mention
lists.
E.T. too. E.T. was, I guess he produced that.
The next guy, I got to go with just my love of thrillers. And I couldn't put Denis Villeneuve on this list because I think it's premature. But
I agree with that.
I think it's premature, so I had to go with the guy that just revolutionized thrillers and just revolutionized crazy storytelling when you get things like Seven, Zodiac, Fight Club, Gone Girl, The Social Network, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, The Curious Case of the Benjamin Button. In The Game, I'm talking about the legendary director David Fincher. What Fincher does with the way that he tells a story is incredible. The way that he tells a thriller, he has you on the edge of your seat constantly. The way that he gets work out of his actors. They say he's a perfectionist. He makes you take 1,000,000 takes, but once you get to that take, once you get to that 1,000,000th take, it's like, oh, he has it just right. He's so particular with his work that he wants everything to be perfect, and I think you see it in his work with just how great his actors are. Look at Jesse Eisenberg in The Social Network, the way that he was able to just portray this version of Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Jake Gyllenhaal at the depths of how he just got super dark in Zodiac, and the way Robert Downey Jr. got dark in Zodiac. Look at Ben Affleck in Gone Girl and the way that it took him, but more so Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl, the way that she acted and just was this normal wife who just went crazy at the end. It took so much. Same thing with Ed Norton and Brad Pitt in Fight Club, and more specifically, Brad Pitt in Seven and Kevin Spacey in Seven. So David Fincher, when it comes to just thriller, mystery, and just great acting, he pulls it all out of his toolbox, and he's just a fantastic storyteller that's taken it to TV now. When I hear anything David Fincher's coming out, I have to watch immediately.
Yeah, David Fincher's a good one. I don't have him on mine mainly because I haven't seen enough of his work for me to like say, you know, talk on it. But you know, right now we do have an abundance of actors or great directors, so putting it into the list that we have is pretty hard as it is. For me at 3, I have the Coen brothers.
Nice. They didn't make my list either. They're great though.
For me, the Coen brothers, Raising Arizona, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? One of my favorite movies ever, Burn After Reading, No Country for Old Men, True Grit.
Country for Old Men is amazing.
The Coen brothers, they have their own kind of certain style that gets you excited to see their movies.
No,
And
100%.
so, I feel like they're the most, well, I guess the other two guys are pretty stylistic themselves, but this is my more stylistic director.
My next director is the guy who brought back the feel of old cinema, who reinvented just what it means to go to the movie and have a thrilling time. He's so particular about how his films look. He's so particular about the message that his films carry. And I'm talking about the legendary, because whereas I feel it's too early for Denis Villeneuve, it's not too early for this legend, and he has to be at number 3. To put him over Sergio Leone, Akira Kurosawa, Spike Lee, Alfred Hitchcock, and David Fincher just shows how much this man's films have impacted me, and just shows how great I think he is as a filmmaker. I'm talking about the legendary Christopher Nolan. When you think of his movies, you think Inception,
You had
The
him at
Dark
3?
Knight. I got him at 3. Inception, The Dark Knight, Interstellar, Dunkirk. And one of his best films that people don't talk about, Memento. When you watch Memento with Guy Pearce, the thriller that he sends you on and the way that he manipulates time is so incredible. And that manipulation of time you see throughout his movies, from Tenet to Interstellar to Inception. But I feel like Memento is the beginning of this idea of I can make my movie however I want, not just with space, not wherever I want in terms of I can manipulate the space, but I can also manipulate the time to where you don't necessarily know if these events are even happening or when they're happening. So that's why I love Quentin Tarantino, and that's why I love Christopher Nolan, and just the way that he gets his actors out and makes them work every time. From Heath Ledger, rest in peace, Christian Bale, Guy Pearce, Cillian Murphy, Matthew McConaughey, Leonardo DiCaprio, and most recently, Robert Pattinson and John David Washington.
Yeah, it's Punt. So I'll talk about him later.
I had to put him at 3.
And it's very, very easy to figure out where I put him, because at number 2, I'm talking Tarantino.
That's a punt. That's a punt.
Yeah, so Tarantino, I know you're going to go into it a little bit more, but pretty self-explanatory. I mean, he's someone that we've talked about a lot on this podcast and on Run It Back. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained, Kill Bill, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight. I think what makes him such a essential director is that he has that movie limit. Just that he has like a limit to the amount of films that he wants to direct is kind of like saying that each film matters. So like that's where, with some of the directors that we can talk about, they have like some movies that are almost throwaways. There really aren't a lot of throwaways when it comes to Tarantino, because everything is so dialed in.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I have him at 2.
No, look, I feels you, and maybe I'll jump into that. Maybe I won't. We'll find out at 1. But at number 2, I got Marty, man. I got old man Marty. I got Marty Scorsese. I would be remiss not to put Martin Scorsese on my list. You look at films like Goodfellas, which we reviewed on Run It Back, Taxi Driver, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Departed, Casino, Raging Bull, The Irishman, Shutter Island, Mean Streets, Gangs of New York, The King of Comedy, Cape Fear, The Aviator. Do you know how many films I just named that are freaking amazing? After Hours? Like, Martin Scorsese, what Martin Scorsese does so well is Martin Scorsese knows how to make a film relatable. That's something that my number 1 person does very, very well. Martin Scorsese doesn't, when you look at films like with, let's say, Paul Thomas Anderson, Wes Anderson, they try to make their films sound a certain particular way, not for the layman's. And there's nothing wrong for that. There's nothing wrong with not speaking in layman's speak. There's nothing wrong with speaking in a speech that uses intellectually highbrow vocabulary. Whereas Martin Scorsese uses vocabulary that Joe Schmo down the block can understand. And that's what makes his film so relatable. You see people talking in there and you're like, oh, those conversations matter. But then what Martin Scorsese does so well is, I'm not going to tell the story of a good guy. No, I'm going to tell the story of a complicated person to damn near shitty human being, make you not only relate to them, make you feel sorry for them, root for them, and then feel disgusted at yourself that you rooted for a character like that. Look at Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro playing Travis Bickle. I think that's his name. Yeah, Travis Bickle. Dude's a fucking maniac. Look at look at Goodfellas, Henry Hill, and all of those dudes. They're fucking gangsters. Wolf of Wall Street. Everybody wants to be Jordan Belfort, but doesn't realize that Jordan Belfort's addicted to coke, ludes, benzos, and all other fucking drugs. He cheated on his wife, left his kids. Cheated on his second wife, left his kids, and is bankrupt and had to go to jail. But motherfuckers want to be like him. That's
He was
because Martin
cheating people out of their money.
that as well. But that's because Martin Scorsese makes the film commendable and makes it so relatable and makes it so just it makes it just so like, damn, I want to be them. And you see yourselves in the feet of these evil people, and he shows that their stories are compelling. I can even go with The Departed. The Departed gives you a look at three people, and it discusses the ideology, the ideal the philosophies of three different individual characters that are all pretty shitty people,
criminals
that think they're doing the right thing. The main one is the outright criminal, Jack Nicholson. Then you have the undercover criminal that works for the State Department, and Matt Damon. And then you have the guy who's a undercover cop that's a criminal for Jack Nicholson, that's slowly starting to turn to a criminal. But does he maintain his morality of being a cop? Is Matt Damon's morality about, is it loyalty or is it about oneself? And that's the same thing that Jack Nicholson's played with. And that's what Martin Scorsese does so well. And I just want to mention one more film. Or actually, I want to mention two more films by him just because it's that. I'm gonna just mention these films by him real quick because they're that important. Mean Streets. Mean Streets is a film that I love and can watch time and time again. I wouldn't put it on Run It Back because I don't know if y'all would enjoy it. But what Mean Street does is it puts you in the foot of Robert De Niro, who is the friend of someone who is associated with the mafia or maybe works for the mafia. He's just someone that's important in Harvey Keitel. And you see their relationships of him being the slacker friend, and you see Harvey Keitel as being the someone in position of power. And it's how do they deal with each other, and can they coexist while both trying to do criminal aspirations? It's such a good film. And then Kings of Comedy, which is the influence to Joker, shows a man that's going mad, that convinces himself that a world that he has created in his head is real, and when he realizes it's not, he goes crazy. Absolutely amazing what Martin Scorsese does. He's a legend. He's someone who inspires me, and he had to be number 2 on my list. Sorry I went so long, but I was so passionate about Marty because like when I looked at his movies, it's like, yo, this dude is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've missed out on a lot of those, or like for some of them it's been a while. I don't know. And one criteria that I have, and that kind of goes into like what I was talking about with Tarantino, and then talking about Nolan here at number 1, is right now I'm really into the idea of compacted films where I can't spot the miss. You know what I'm saying? And as even it goes the same with the Coen brothers. Like granted, they do have some iffy ones. That's why they're 3. But like, going into, the year 2000 with Nolan, I mean, it's Memento, Insomnia, which I don't know much about Insomnia, but then Batman Begins, Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet. I mean, it's like,
only when you say Mrs. Dunkirk, that's the only one I'd say. And even then, it's not a miss to people.
Oscar-nominated film. So, I mean, it's just like, it's just, at this point, like, I feel like Christopher Nolan is on the hot streak, per se. So it's like one of these things where, like, as making a top directors of the moment is where I feel like I'm at with this list. Because he's the top director at the moment. He's the belle of the ball, where, like, I feel like Scorsese and even Spielberg, they had their moment being the belle of the ball, and now they're kind of like in the second half, the
Third,
twilight
yeah,
of
like definitely the twilight of their careers.
yeah. So that's where I stand with like what I have at the moment. And of course, we mentioned Tarantino, and Tarantino is going to be on his way out pretty soon.
Yeah,
But
so that's that with him. My number one, I went with Antoine Fuqua. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Of course, I went with Tarantino. Tarantino, what more can I say about this man? This man is a legend among legends. Like what he has done for creativity in movies and just original movies is amazing. Each story individually is its own thing, but each story still feels related to the other in some way.
well, in
Each
some ways, they're in the same universe.
Exactly, and each story takes reference from some of the best things and pays homage to some of the best things. See, Tarantino's not afraid to say, "Hey, I like this person movie. I'm gonna pay homage to it." Hey, Sergio Leone, you meant a lot to me in my childhood. Thank you. This is what I interpreted it as. Or Akira Kurosawa, you meant this much to me. This is what I interpreted it as with Kill Bill. Or just I could go down the list and list. And when you look at his movies, what they do is phenomenal. And I think you make a good point about his 10 films. I wouldn't be upset if he did more films, me personally, but I get it, him being finite. But I think that's in terms of directing. I think we will see him continue to write films for other people that he trusts. And that's a very interesting point because I've watched two movies recently that he wrote, but one was with a person he trusted, one was with a person he didn't. Natural Born Killers, Oliver Stone, he did not trust him and he did not like how that film turned out. But if you watch Natural Born Killers, you still feel at its core, it's a Tarantino film. Yes, but it's definitely an Oliver Stone film because he transformed it, but the writing is still there. With True Romance, that's a Tarantino film through and through, but it still has some Tony Gilroy, Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's brother. It still has some Tony Scott flavors to it. And I think that's what makes Tarantino so great, his writing, his dialogue.
Yeah.
If what I said about Martin Scorsese about capturing layman's voice, then Tarantino not only captures layman's terms, but he captures the cool layman. He captures the hip things that people are saying at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I'm really curious about what we're gonna see out of Tarantino
First
in the
10th
future
film.
because, well, I mean, because like they're saying that they're gonna do a Kill Bill 3.
I don't think they're
So I
going to
don't
do
know if that counts as that, or if he's not going to be the director for that, if he's
I don't
just writing it.
I don't think we're getting Kill Bill 3. I think we're getting something completely original. But I think we're going to get that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood TV show first, where it's about the cowboy, and I don't think that counts. Where it's about Leonardo
Well,
DiCaprio's character as a
that's kind of
cowboy.
where I'm leaning to is like, he wrote episodes for the Dust Till Dawn series. I mean, he
He
he's
helped with
done work in television with CSI and ER.
Once Upon a Time in
Um,
Mexico, the Robert Rodriguez film with Antonio Banderas that is
you
basically
know, I've
the version of Sergio Leone's
I
Man
mean,
with No Name.
you mentioned Robert Rodriguez. I feel like in a lot of ways that they're going to do a lot of team up. I mean, they did
Yeah,
stuff with Grindhouse, and they did
him,
From Dusk Till Dawn, the film, which is probably my favorite Tarantino strictly written.
and I could see him working with Eli Roth,
Eli
which
Roth, yeah.
they've worked before too. So I mean, you can go into film after film, like what he did with Inglorious Bastards by using language because he's a dialogue writer and using language in not only German, Italian, but still making it feel like I understand everything that's going on with that film. It's spies trying to convince other spies that their lies are real. Django is about a black man taking back his power from the system that took away his whole freedom, his everything, and now it's taking away his love. You took away his dignity, you took away his freedom, you took away everything that's dear to him, and the last thing that he was able to maintain in this place, you took it away from him again, and this is about his revenge getting it back. Pulp Fiction is a collection of stories that we could get into, and then it just goes on and on. Quentin Tarantino is so special, and I don't think we'll ever see another director like him. And what he has done, to me, is just deserving of the best director ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue too much about that. He was sitting at number 2 for me. The only thing that I had as a knock was that he is limited. Like, is that a he's a time in history more so than a director that's here to stay.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping for his writing continues.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I
Or
can.
that he makes a move to television.
Yeah, because like TV, that I would
TV
love
is
that.
the
Like
time.
Fincher's doing
This
that.
is
Like
this is the time for TV now. So I
that's
mean,
what
like,
Fincher's doing, and if
and
we can keep him doing TV, then fuck yeah.
I mean, like, if he could establish himself with a streaming service that would give him the liberty to do what he wants.
To me, that's either HBO or Amazon.
That would give us the most quality product, yes. But I mean, Fincher did Netflix, but I feel like that
True.
was before all this stuff came about.
That's true.
Maybe HBO Max locks him down to do something for a series for HBO, but we'll see.
Well, yeah,
Apple TV, I think, is not out of the realm of possibility either. Because I mean,
that as
like,
well. They got the money to do it too.
they got the money, and it would be their big marquee. Like, that could be the drawing factor to Apple TV.
That would be huge. I already pay for Apple TV, but I would not cancel my subscription ever just to watch the Tarantino shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those up and coming ones out there. So that could be that. But we'll
1,000. But all right, let's say our list again. Schubert, you go ahead. Give your list.
It was 5 I had Ron Howard and Edgar Wright. At 4 was Steven Spielberg. 3 was the Coen brothers, and 2 was Tarantino, and with 1 being Christopher Nolan.
Like I said, Schubert, no, I cheated like I always do. 6 is Spike Lee and Alfred Hitchcock. 5 is Sergio Leone and Akira Kurosawa. 4, David Fincher. 3, Christopher Nolan. 2, Marty Scorsese. And 1, the legendary Quentin Tarantino. Great episode this week, man. I'm so happy we got to do a top list again. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Yeah, we haven't done one in a while, and we thought that we weren't going to have a lot to talk about this week, which is why we put it in originally. But I'm glad that we did end up having a lot of really good stuff in the news, like having that full deal for Bullet Train. I feel like is really exciting. We not only doing the Fresh Prince, but Animaniacs and Mando, and just a lot going on right now, which is good because we need the distractions while we have no new movies for real.
And we got a good distraction for him next week.
We do.
The championship match. All right, we had to, look.
It's a big episode.
Charles couldn't compete, so I had to go forward. Charles will be back next year in the league. Don't worry. But it's going to be me versus Jake Madison. Jake Madison has to beat me twice. Can I do my promo video right now?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you don't have any other time.
Just to get people excited. All right. That was Lyndon, the host, the nice guy, the humble guy. This is Lyndon, the competitor. Jake Madison, you may be a screenwriter. You may be someone that works for a big movie company. You may have a hot Pelicans podcast, so therefore your sports knowledge is good. Your comic book knowledge is good. But I'm right there with you, Jake. I am the underdog in this fight. And God damn it, I'm the best damn underdog there could possibly be. Jake Madison, basketball, we're even, buddy. We're even. I don't give you the nod in that. Football, I got you. And I know Schubert's not putting a baseball question in there.
There is a baseball question in there.
I got you. Anime. There's no way on God's green earth that you have me, Jake Madison. Look in the camera. There's no way on God's green earth that you will beat me in an anime question. Not the anime talk God. Not the anime talk man. Not the man that seen over 100 anime. No, Jake Madison, no way. No way. I attribute myself as the anime king. But you know what else I'm a king of, Jake Madison? Do you know what else I am a king of, Jake Madison? DC bleeping comics, Jake. Yeah, you may help write, but I know. Did you read the Golden Age? Did you read the Silver Age? Did you read the 90s, the 2000s, the New 52, Rebirth? Did you read it? Did you read Vertigo? I don't know. I did. I don't know if you did. I did. Marvel, you may have me. I concede that. But when it comes to the things I'm strong at, I'm better than you. But yet I'm the underdog. Because you're a screenwriter, you should beat me. But if I beat you, which I will do, come next Wednesday when the people hear this, and I will wear the belt across my shirt, I will say, thank you for the opportunity of giving me my first win. Jake Madison, you will lose, and I will see you next year. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Tune in next Wednesday, because that will be the birth of young boy Donowitz as the new Pitch It champion. And I go down as a legend. That's what that is. The dynasty begins on Wednesday. Tune in, jump on the bandwagon, because we're taking prisoners and we're cutting off heads. We take you as a prisoner, and then we cut off your head and throw you to the cows to become manure and feed for them. We take you to the prison, cut off your head, grind you up, feed you to the cows, you become manure for new life to grow. And that new life is the light that shines on the future Pitch It champion. Thank you. Tune in to watch the ass whooping of a century. That's all I got, Schubert. That's all I got.
Yeah,
back to host.
You lost me there at the end, but one thing I find it hard that you can be considered an underdog when you're in the winners bracket.
I'm the underdog, baby. Dude works for a certain movie company.
Tell yourself that.
That's what the people saying, man.
Who's saying?
That's what the people are saying. That's what the fans are saying. The supporters, the family, the pack. The pack is strong, baby. Long live and prosper. We are the pack, the foundation. Yo, put it up. Put it up. If you know what it is, put it up. This is our symbol. Beat on your chest. We're coming for you. Wednesday, I'll have the belt across my chest. All right, Schubert, let me be a host again. You're just out of personality. All right, man. Yeah, they got a lot to look forward next week.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you have that pitch and match, but, the big 1 hour long Mandalorian Ahsoka episode, all been coming down to this.
Yeah.
So that's going to be big. Nothing else other than those two and just the news. Like, that's all we got for you, because it's going to be plenty. And, it's going to be a fun week for sure.
Yes, sir. You guys can follow me at LynBWT. Follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. Be sure to check out all the content out on the Bros Who Think Network. We got the Run It Back special, Super Bad, where Schubert, myself, and Ian Hawley, the editor at the Bros Who Think Network, review the Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen classic Super Bad. That was one of my favorite episodes ever, recording podcasts with this human next to me. It was such a good time. If you enjoy that movie, definitely check that out. Be sure to check out the latest episode of Anime Talk and the Bros Who Think podcast. You can find all of that on YouTube. All of the audio, all of the podcasts are out now on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to podcasts. But Run It Back is exclusively on YouTube. And if you enjoy it, make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, Run It Back was fun to do. Superbad is an all-time great. We'll see what we do next when it comes to Run It Back. But, I mean, we've covered some pretty great films so far. We did, Lyndon Scorsese, so go back and listen to that Goodfellas one.
Yep.
We've done a Tarantino. We did Pulp Fiction. We've done an Edgar Wright with Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
And, now mixing in the Superbad with a little comedy. We're going to see what we do next, but we've been hitting some good movies so far.
Yes, sir. All these movies are running backable.
if you like anime too, we've done some pretty good stuff on the anime
Yes, we have.
movies as well. I mean,
And we
I've only
we
been
got a
on the
major one
Cowboy
coming
Bebop
next.
one, but
No, we've done some great ones. We did the Cowboy Bebop movie. We've done the legendary Miyazaki movie, Howl's Moving Castle. We've done the instant classic, Your Name. We've done the trash, the joke, run it back of the Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn movie, which was trash. But the next anime running back is a hitter. It's a legendary film. We're doing Akira, man. It's gonna be
oh,
dope.
there you go.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit. Me and Chris are tackling Akira, and it's gonna be absolutely nuts.
Well, everyone, make sure you go and check out the previous running backs, previous episodes of this show, The Bros Who Think, Anime Talk, everything out that's on the network. And be sure to tune in with us next week for a big pitch it match and more Mando. So for Lynn and Burton, my name's Adam Schubert. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at aschubert14. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving today and has, finds a way to communicate with your families, whether you're able to see them or you have to Zoom them or call them. But, we're getting through the times, and we're getting soon to where we'll be able to have some more movies to talk about. So everyone have a great week. And as always, keep binging.